FM since 1990. First National Bank, the home for all your financial solutions. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. The Gallery Grill and the Greens of Greenville. Visit them online at greensofgreenville.com. AVI Fresh, proud food service provider for Thiel College. Partners Comdoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Biddle & Company. Visit Biddle & Company online at biddle-co.com. And Ilsco Extrusions Incorporated. Ilsco has operated one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. You can listen to this game online at 790WPIC.com or listen on the go by downloading the free WPIC station app. Now, let's get to the field for our Countdown to Kickoff show with our game announcers, Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach.
From a somewhat wet Bison Stadium in Bethany, West Virginia, it's time for Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC and 790WPIC.com. Good evening, everyone. I'm Hugh Ringer, and it'll be my pleasure to call the play-by-play action for tonight's game. Don Achenbach, former Thiel Tomcat tight end, is standing to my right, set to bring all the color analysis your way this evening, as we have a very good matchup between two President's Athletic Conference teams. But we do want to emphasize at the outset, this is not a conference game. It's between two PAC teams, but it's not a conference game because they elected to play in week 2 of the regular season because of the scheduling issues, and both enjoy playing each other and have a good relationship going, I think we can say. And basically, this game is being played as a preseason game because of the unbalanced schedule that exists in the President's Athletic Conference. So conference play begins officially next week when the Cats go to Thomas More to take on the club down in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Tonight, it's the 1-0 Thiel Tomcats against the 0-1 Bethany Bison here at Bison Stadium. You Tomcat fans are well aware that Thiel opened the 2015 season last week with a very impressive 37-21 victory over their rivals, the Gators of Allegheny College. The Tomcats controlled the ground game on both sides of the football to rack up that impressive victory. Big games by a lot of Tomcat individuals last week. We'll talk about those during the pregame show. Meanwhile, the Bethany Bison were on the road against the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. And if you follow Division III college football, you know that is one of the premier programs in America. In fact, the Mount Union club came into that game sporting a number 2 ranking in all of Division III college football. So it's no wonder that was a 47-0 win for Mount Union. But Don Achenbach, I think it's safe to say that there is no doubt in anyone's mind in this stadium that the Bethany Bison are a whole lot better football team than that score against Mount Union would possibly indicate.
Oh, that's absolutely true. The fact that they actually bettered the score from the year before against Mount Union shows this is a program on the rise, and we certainly saw that last year when they came up to Alumni Stadium and put a little bit of a hurting on us. So this is a program that's been we've been watching Hugh, for a couple of years, and I think we're going to find out tonight that they have arrived.
Yes, they certainly have. The Tomcats are in the process of arriving as well, and we could have ourselves a pretty good football game tonight featuring two teams that have a lot of talent on both sides of the football. Up next, it's the President's Athletic Conference report. And again, since we're playing our second consecutive game under the lights here at Bison Stadium, we don't want to date the wonderful report that Joe Anderko prepared last week. So we won't be listening to Joe Anderko. Instead, we'll be doing our own pack report in just a couple of minutes, including the results of two games that were played this afternoon, and one I think folks should call a major upset. Stay tuned. The pack report is next here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
Welcome back to Tomcat football on 790. Hugh Ringer, Don Achenbach. It's time for the President's Athletic Conference report. Don and I will handle that tonight because we have a couple of games that have already been played. And, Don, one is no surprise, another a huge surprise. Thomas More, the 16th-ranked team in America, went to 2-0 this afternoon. That's no surprise. And the score is huge, but, hey, it's Thomas More, folks. They beat the number 2 team or beat a nationally ranked 15th team last week. But today they played Hanover College, and Thomas More beat them 84-7. The upset occurred this afternoon down in Latrobe, where the St. Vincent Bearcats, who've been improving, and we hear they're a lot better, Don, they must be, they defeated Waynesburg today by a score of 28-21.
Yeah, the first score doesn't surprise you too much other than the magnitude, because Thomas More doesn't usually run up the score. And I doubt that they did today either. But St. Vincent, wow, they're another program. We talked about Bethany and Thiel both being programs on the rise. St. Vincent, we saw that the last couple of years as well. And I don't know if they surprised Waynesburg or they just did a nice job against them. But that's going to have huge impact on the conference championship, I guess. I don't know if that's an actual conference game today or not.
I don't believe it would be.
I doubt that it would be. But
yeah, just be a barometer, but it's...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, something to keep in mind. 2 other games in addition to our game here at Bethany are being played under the lights at 7 o'clock. Geneva College will be at Grove City to face Chris Smith's Wolverines. And down in Washington, Pennsylvania, nationally ranked W&J, ranked number 14 in the last poll I saw in Division III, will be hosting another team that could be improved, the Westminster College Titans. Yeah. And we'll try to keep our eyes and ears on those scores if we can throughout the evening.
I think the bottom line is the entire President's Athletic Conference has improved.
Definitely it has, Don Achenbach. Up next, it's our weekly discussion with Coach Kurt Reiser. The Tomcat football update is next on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. The Greens of Greenville. Log on to greensofgreenville.com. And Ilsko Extrusions Incorporated, one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years, and proud to support Thiel College. Log on to ilskoextrusions.com for more information. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Seancey's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to seanceysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvico, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer back at Bison Stadium on the campus of Bethany College in Bethany, West Virginia. And, oh, don't you just love technology, folks?
Not at all.
Well, we had an iPhone interview already here with Kurt Reiser, recorded and everything else, and now the plumbing is not working, I guess, as we would say.
Why don't you just give us the highlights, Hugh?
Well, you know, I have a wonderful memory for what coaches tell me. So, Dawn, you and I are going to paraphrase. Well, I'm going to paraphrase.
And I will comment.
What Kurt Reiser had to say about everything going into this ball game. And first of all, we talked a little bit about the big win over Allegheny last week, and Kurt said that he was extremely impressed with the performances in all three phases of the football team. Obviously, Evan Imgren and Daly running the football extremely well. Ryan Radke running for over 100 yards, passing for over 100. Ronnie Howard, 7 catches for 78 yards, a very impressive performance. His offensive line played well. The defense played well for the most part, particularly up front. Fine play by Captain Riley Shane and senior Nick Ravita. And he just thought that there was a lot to be positive about in that football game.
And I think we counted probably 7 freshmen who contributed in that game last weekend. So that he's got to be happy with that.
Absolutely. And, of course, as we said in our introductory comments to this segment, the fact that Bethany comes in 0-1, losing big to Mount Union last week, is no indicator as to how good this club is. And Kurt didn't hesitate for 1 second. He said, I absolutely agree. They have tremendous talent in all phases of the football team. So when after we take this break, Dawn, we're going to come back and we'll paraphrase what Kurt said about the players offensively, defensively, and on special teams that you need to be concerned about heading into this ball game. So we'll be back with more of the Tomcat Football Update. Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, Proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. The Greens of Greenville. Log on to greensofgreenville.com. And Ilsko Extrusions Incorporated, one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years, and proud to support Thiel College. Log on to ilskoextrusions.com for more information. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back with Coach Kurt Reiser of the Thiel Tomcats. Kurt, this is a Bethany Bison club with lots of experience. 24 seniors, 14 starters back. Preseason rated the third best team in the President's Athletic Conference. In a nutshell, how good is this team?
Well, I think they're very good, and I think they're good because they have so many older guys playing for them, seniors, juniors. And it starts offensively for them. They got a senior wide receiver in Eric Flynn, who's an outstanding football player, a senior late in offensive line that does a great job, in the run game and in the pass game. So we know what they bring to the table, and defensively they have almost everybody back from a year ago. They're a good football team. And we've talked all week about this being an opportunity for us to possibly make a statement if we can come down here and get a win and show some people that we're a good football team as well, and we feel like we got a great chance tonight.
Kurt, a few players on offense, first of all, for the Bison. Their quarterback is a senior, Lincoln Reyes. It's his first starting assignment. Is this a possible vulnerability for this team?
Well, I don't know if it's a vulnerability. I think it's a bit of a question mark just because we haven't seen a lot of him. We saw him against Mount Union a week ago, but a year ago we played against Brian Bales, and he hurt us. So, I think Lincoln's a good quarterback. He's a little bit of an unknown right now for us and maybe for them too. So, hopefully we can take advantage of some mistakes that he might make tonight.
Do you expect the Bison to come out with spread receivers? We know Glenn is a threat, but they have others as well.
Well, yeah, they have Eric Glenn, and Tyler Ambush is an excellent receiver for them as well. And They're using a tight end a little bit more this year. At least they did a week ago against Mount Union and those types of things. So, they have weapons. And, defensively, we're going to have to be on our A game to stop them.
Are you worried at all about their running back, junior Jalen Holmes, from nearby Newcastle High School?
We are. I think he's a good running back. He's got good speed. He runs hard. He runs physical, downhill style of running back. And, we're going to have to stop the run first, force them to throw, and then, defend the pass and make tackles and limit their gains as much as possible. We can't give up the big play tonight.
Do they use two running backs? I know Phil Acree is hurt, but freshman by the name of Antonio Hanna is second on the depth chart.
Yeah, we saw Holmes and Hanna both in the game a week ago against Mount Union. I think they both ran hard. I think Jalen Holmes is certainly, with his experience and what he's done here at Bethany, I think he's the better back right now. And I know Hannah's a young freshman, probably still learning the ropes. So we'll see probably a lot of Jalen Holmes tonight and a little bit of Hanna in the backfield, and we'll just have to be ready to stop both of them.
The Bethany 4-3 defense is led up front by an All-American end, Nadeem Radar. How good is he, and who gets the assignment of trying to control this disruptive force?
Well, he's very good, and he led the conference a year ago in sacks. I think he had 12.5 sacks a year ago and 21 tackles for loss. Just an outstanding football player, and really came into his own during the season last season. So we're well aware of him. I know that he'll be probably moving around a bit from defensive end spots. So both of our tackles, Mario Fagioli and Gary Heiner, are going to have to be ready to go to protect the quarterback from him getting into our backfield.
They have several good linebackers, but the name that caught my eye is Donovan Hayden, the senior, who I believe has 7 straight games with double-digit tackles.
The thing that impressed us about Donovan Hayden is he plays with a high motor. In that game against Mount Union a week ago, he was all over the field and making plays, making tackles, several tackles for loss, and those types of things. We think Larry Padilla is a very good linebacker as well. He can run and get to the football and does a great job. So, again, they have great personnel and guys that have been here for a while, been playing in their system for a while. So I think they're going to be a challenge for us tonight, and one that we're looking forward to trying to, have our way with.
The secondary is led by the 2 safeties, Aaron Fry and Dion Williams. They're both good ones, aren't they?
They're very good, very aggressive. They get involved in the run, and they're good pass defenders as well. So those 2 guys have been on our radar all week long. We've talked with our players about the things that they like to do and how they're going to be involved defensively for Bethany tonight. And we got to do a great job of keeping Bethany off balance with both run and pass, and to keep those guys out of the box in the run game, and hopefully we can run the ball and set up some play action stuff to take advantage of their aggressiveness.
And I might mention that Fry punts the football very well. At least he did last week at Mount Union.
He's got a strong leg, and he's definitely a weapon for them in the special teams game. He can change field position. I think he had a couple 60-yard punts last week against Mount Union. So, our returners have to do a great job. Kevin Daly will be back there tonight. We may even put 2 returners back there at times to try to make sure that we're catching the ball, not letting it roll, and those types of things. So we're aware of his talent, punting the ball, and I think our special teams is ready to go, though.
And, of course, Mr. Blinn, who we talked about as the premier wideout, is a dangerous punt returner, isn't he?
He's very dangerous. I mean, he's dangerous anytime he gets the ball in his hands. I thought they did some things last week moving him around on offense where they had him in the backfield and had him, going into the flat and on flares and things like that out of the backfield to get him the ball in different ways. And as a returner, he's very dangerous. He can break one at any point. So our coverage teams have to do a great job tonight.
Kurt, we want your keys to victory and a couple of other things. We'll do that when we return. This is News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to teal.edu.
You are listening to News Talk 790 WPIC. Sharon Hermitage, a Cumulus station, sponsored by the Ridgewood at Shenango Valley, a premier senior living residence.
I'm Daryl Satterfield, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Kurt Reiser, any injuries of note coming into this football game for Thiel?
No, I think we're pretty healthy. We're ready to go. I know our kids are excited about getting out there tonight and getting things rolling.
How about some keys to victory? I would imagine special teams is on your mind and several others.
Well, yeah, special teams. We have to win the special teams game tonight. I think there will be some opportunities for us to set up field position for our offense and hopefully dictate field position defensively as well. But, it really starts up front on both sides of the ball for us. You look at the games that we played the past 2 years. 2 years ago, we came down here and we ran for over 300 yards on the ground. And last year, they were able to really limit us. We only had about 118 yards rushing a year ago. So I think that was the difference in the game. It's going to come down to which team can control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And I think that team will have the upper hand. And then for us, for us to be successful tonight, we got to have our A game, both offensively and defensively. We got to tackle defensively, not give up big plays, not give up catches and runs and those types of things. If we can do that, we give ourselves a great opportunity.
Our thanks to Coach Kurt Reiser of the Thiel Tomcats for joining us here on the pregame show. And Dawn, technology does work after all.
It does when you have an Ed Topolewski to help you out.
Yeah, thanks so much to Ed, the sports information director at Thiel. He's been working with a little more technology than we have, and he bailed us out as always. All right, the coin has been tossed, and the Tomcats have gotten the football. Bethany won the toss. As usual, the team that wins the toss defers in this day and age. So Bethany will kick, the Tomcats will receive, and move left to right on your radio dial.
Absolutely, Hugh, and right now we're having a moment of silence for a Bethany player who passed away during the summer. And now we're ready to play football.
Okay, we're ready to go. Our condolences to the Bethany community on that terrible tragedy. We all know what that can be like.
We've all been there. We've had that happen.
We certainly have. Tonight's officials, the referee is James Lipscomb, Jr., Jim Connolly, the umpire, Tim Justice, the linesman, Chuck Ruslavage is the line judge, Rusty Mitchell, the field judge, Dean Mara, the side judge, and Jeff Luffler is the back judge. The clock operator, a gentleman we've seen here a number of times, always does a great job, Reverend James Newman. And Peter Ross is the 25-second clock operator. Well, Don, you heard what Kurt Reiser had to say. We have a very talented Bethany team wanting to get off the snide a little bit and get into the victory column, and the Cats would love nothing better than to be 2-0 going into PAC conference play next week.
Absolutely. The Tomcats are going to have to play a good football game because Bethany is a good football team, and I'm sure most of the Bethany players looked at last week's game as more of an exhibition game than anything to be really taken seriously, as most of the people who do play Mount Union during the regular season anyway. Tomcats are going to have to play good football, but we saw last week that they're capable of good football. Those freshmen are going to have to mature a little bit more this week now that we're on the road and not back at Alumni Stadium, and I think the Tomcats are ready for the task.
A reminder to our listeners, at halftime we will have a special guest from the Thiel football staff, the pride and joy of Greenville High School, R.J. Molson. The defensive line coach will join us, and folks are going to love hearing what R.J. Molson has to say about now being a full-time assistant coach with Kurt Reiser here at Thiel.
Speaking of Mount Union, that's where he was, right?
That is exactly right. He played at Mount Union. All right, kicking off for the Bethany Bison, has the ball teed up right now, is Omar Moore, a senior from Moon High School. And he kicks it down the middle, and it's going to be received by Jones at the 20. And he's at the 25-30, cuts it out at the 35, and it's going to be wrestled out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So the precocious freshman gets his hands on the football, Paul Jones, out of Newcastle High School, and sets the Cats up in good field position, Dawn, at their own 37.
Nice job by the special teams that way. The young freshman did a little dance and a little move up down the sideline, but he followed his blocks this time, held on to the football, and set the Tomcats up in real good position.
Quarterback Ryan Radke, he can run it, he can throw it, he is dynamic. He will be under center. The blocking fullback is Justin Zinsmeister, and Kevin Daly gets the start, the young man from Claysburg Kimmel High School in Pennsylvania. In the I formation on 1st and 10. Here's the play fake. Radke's back, going to throw in the middle. He's got Ryan Rowland, the big tight end, out of Pickering, Ohio, at the 40-yard line. It only nets, 41-yard line, nets 4 yards, setting up 2nd and 6. But it sets a tone, Don. They didn't get to the tight end last week, but they do right off the bat.
And you know how I love them going to the tight ends, but great job by Evan Ingram picking up the All-American Devin McClain coming in on the rush and allowed him to get just drop the pass off right behind him.
Alex Horvatus is wide right. Tajudin is in the ball game as well, or is that Ronnie Howard? That's Ronnie Howard in the slot right on 2nd down and 6 at the 41. Here is Radke, play fake back. He's got heat. He throws. He's got his receiver, Horvatus, at the 40 of Bethany and down to the Bison 37 or 38-yard line. That ball almost deflected in the short zone, Don, but Horvatus kept his eye on the football and made a nice catch. Perfect throw, Ryan Radke. First down, Tomcats.
And again, a good job. The Bisons that came with a blitz, and the Tomcat offensive backs picked it up real nicely.
This time, Horvatus is wide left. Ronnie Howard slot left. Eye behind quarterback Ryan Radke. Tight end over to the right this time is Rowland. On 1st and 10 at the 38. He play fakes again. Here comes the rush. He's getting rid of the ball. It's going to be up for grabs and knocked away by one of the safeties back there. And a real good play by that...
Dion Williams.
Yeah, Williams, who's a 2-time All-President's Athletic Conference selection. And he and his safety mate were all over the intended receiver, Horvatus. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
We got a sideline violation warning against the Tomcats. Apparently they're not staying back behind the white line, so that was the reason for the flag, Hugh.
Okay. But it's a warning.
It's a warning, so we're okay.
No yardage is marched off. The next time they won't be so kind. All right, 2nd and 10 for Thiel as they come out throwing the football. Kevin Daly is your tailback. And remember, he ran last week for over 100 yards. If memory serves correctly, 114 was his number. He's alone in the backfield. Radke's going to give it to him. And Daly is going to fight his way, maybe for nice second effort there to the 35-yard line. Looked like they had him stopped for no gain, but he gets 3. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for Thiel at the 35 of Bethany. Just underway here in West Virginia.
Nice push by that Tomcat offensive line. They held their block so that he could come back and pick another hole, and ended up making what could have been maybe a half-a-yard loss into a 3-yard gain.
All right, Horvatus and Ronnie Howard go to the left. This time they flip-flop. Horvatus in the slot, Howard wide left. Single set back in the backfield, and here comes Ronnie Howard in motion left to right. Radke under center. He needs 7 for a first down. He's going to give it off this time, and in nothing doing in the backfield. And I'll tell you, all kinds of penetration by the Bethany defense led by the All-American defensive end, Nadim Redar, who came in and said, "You're not going anywhere, Mr. Daly." It is a loss of 2, setting up a 4th and 9. And we're going to see Dylan Squires.
No, we're not.
We're not. The Tomcats are going to go for it at the 37 of Bethany. They need 9 yards.
It's Ryan Radke time here. The Tomcats set up this on the last play with the run play. They knew they were going for it on 4th down.
4 wides in the game, and Radke in the gun for the first time with a sidecar and Daly. He needs 9. He's back. He's going to run around. He's going to scramble. He's got guys chasing him. He's got to get rid of the ball. He throws and almost intercepted down at the 27-yard line of Bethany, and the pass falls incomplete, intended out there for Tajutin, who was off the bench in this formation for Thiel. And the Cats turn it over on downs, but still encouraging the way they moved the ball in the opening salvo.
I'll tell you what, though, Radke was running for his life on that play and just got the ball away. And number 25, Antonio Dawkins, dropped the ball, which was probably the right thing to do on fourth down. But Tomcats are going to have to secure up that offensive line a little bit to give Ryan a little bit of time to do his magic.
Senior Lincoln Reyes is the quarterback, and he starts out in the gun with two sidecars. He's back. He's going to throw incomplete, intended out there in the flat for Eric Blinn, who set up in the backfield, but it was too wide for the number 2 all-time receiver in the history of the President's Athletic Conference, Eric Blinn. 2nd and 10 for Bethany on their own 37. Here is Reyes giving off to the tailback, and that's Holmes getting away. 50, 40, he's in the open, 30, 20, 10, and he's in for a touchdown. That is exactly what the Tomcats did not want to have happen, but he got a block on the corner on the right side, the left side of the Thiel defense. And, Dawn, I don't think anybody touched Jalen Holmes.
Nope, he broke free right away, and then it was chasing. I think our Doak Walker may have stepped in a little bit too far into the hole that time, but that was off to the races.
Chris Ray is in to try to tack on the extra point. Boy, the big play comes back to really bite the Tomcats early. Ball down, kick up. The end-over-end kick is good. Timeout on the field. Bethany strikes first on a big play. They lead the Tomcats 7-0 on News Talk 790 WPIC.
63.
Being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture. Proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
On the second play from scrimmage after Bethany stopped the opening Thiel drive, running back Jalen Holmes goes untouched off right end, 63 yards to pay dirt. Extra point good, 7-0 in favor of Bethany. Thiel has to take that out of their mind now and try to come back. Here's the kick to Paul Jones down at the 8. He's at the 15-20. He's got ahead his team, 30, 40, and out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. And I'm going to tell you, this young man can really scoot. Yep. He's big, he's strong, he's quick, and he's a difference maker in the return game.
Yeah, the Tomcats have had a lot of quick running back or kick returners now, but not one of that kind of size. That kid can deliver a blow when he does get down the field, and he's also a pretty good wide receiver we saw last week. And
you're darn right he is.
The rain is falling a little bit harder here in Bethany.
This is the hardest rain that we've seen since we arrived in almost heaven. All right, Ryan Radke is going to be under center. His team is trailing 7-0. The Cats got to keep it going here on offense and sustain a drive. Here's the give to Daly, and they're going to grab him by the shirt from behind and bring him down. And again, that was Tariq Darby, I believe, a freshman defensive back who came flying up, who made that play and stopped the running back for no gain. So in the very early going, Dawn, it looks like the Thiel freshman running backs are going to have to work for every yard against this tough defense.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be as easy as it looked last week, but I think they're up to the task, and this Tomcat offensive line will get their assignments right, and I think you'll see some holes open up.
All right, Radke is under center again on 2nd and 10. Single setback is Daly, and Daly's going to get the ball. He's going to dance in the hole, but I'll tell you, there's nowhere to go. And if the Cats don't start getting a better surge up front, it's going to be a long night running the football, because last week, Daly, Don was breaking that for 5-6 yards.
Yeah, Donovan Hayden is kind of a he's kind of a roadblock to move out of the way from his linebacker position. We called his name a lot last year, and looks like this is going to be one of those nights where the Tomcats are going to have to use the pass to set up the run rather than the other way around.
Well, and that's what Kurt Reiser tried to do in the opening series. By the way, the aforementioned linebacker really is 7-game streak with 10 or more tackles. He's a good one. All right, Radke is in the gun with a sidecar and 3 wides on 3rd and 10. He's back. He has time. He's got Ronnie Howard inside the 40 and carrying tacklers to the 35 of Bethany. How about that for the senior offensive captain, the pride and joy of the Sharon Tigers, Ronnie Howard?
Let's give some credit to that Tomcat offensive line. They held out that surge from the Green Wave coming at them, and I gave Ryan enough time to step up and find Ronnie Howard for the big first down.
And that's, by my measuring stick, about 16 yards?
It was enough to move the chains.
It was. I think it was 16. But anyway, we'll let the stat people worry about that. 1st and 10, Thiel on the 35 of Bethany. Radke under center with 2 backs behind him. And the give, no, the fake is to Daly. And the ball is loose. Radke hit from behind. Fumble recovered by Bethany at the 39-yard line. And who made that big hit?
Nadeem Radar. Who else?
Yeah, he is a stud coming off the corner, and he just absolutely outquicked the Tomcats on that one, and Radke never saw him. He never heard him, and the ball was loose and recovered. So
Daniel Gibson on the recovery for Bethany.
So the Bison have the ball back again, leading 7-0. This is an ultra-athletic football team at every position. And you can see how dominant this defensive line is already. All right, Reyes comes back out in the gun on 1st down with a sidecar. And he's going to give it to Holmes. And Holmes is going to jitterbug a little bit there and not get too much yardage up to about the 41-yard line. Jalen Holmes, a junior out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I bet he played with Paul Jones.
I bet he did too. And he's got a nice center of gravity. He's low to the ground, and he's hard to find when he gets behind those big offensive linemen.
A gain of 2, 2nd down, 8 at the 41, their own 41 for Bethany. Reyes in the gun. He's straight back. He steps up. Little pressure at the end, incomplete, and good coverage down there by one of the Tomcats who got his hand on the ball. Aaron Mason, the defensive back at the 35, looked like the intended receiver, Don, and was right where he needed to be to break up that pass, setting up a 3rd and 8.
Ball was way overthrown, and Aaron was playing center field and jumped as high as he possibly could. Got a couple of fingers on it, but couldn't corral it.
All right, 3 wides in for Bethany. They got the Tomcats got late heat there, and let's see if they can get a little bit of heat here on this pass rush. Reyes is in the gun with a sidecar to his right. He has 5 receivers out in the pattern. He's back. Little pressure. The pass is incomplete. Glenn was the intended receiver, and all over him, like a cheap suit, was Chris Jones.
He was, and he had good coverage that time. Again, the ball sailed a little bit, and Glenn couldn't get up and get it, but when he did get up there, Jones put his shoulder pads right in the middle of his back, and no way he was going to come down with the ball.
Chris Jones is one of the better corners in this conference, Don, and he showed it right there. So it's 4th down and punt formation for Bethany, and Aaron Fry, who averaged almost 44 yards in 13 punts against Mount Union last week, gets it away at his own 30, and he booms it high and long. Fair catch is going to be called for by one of the Tomcats, and look who's out there to receive that, Don. That is the freshman Cody Dinger from Girard, Pennsylvania. This kid has great hands. He's not a very big kid, but he's going to be a very good receiver in the Tomcat system.
And I think he's getting this little indoctrination tonight, and that was a tough catch looking at those raindrops falling into your face mask, and I did a nice job.
The good hands people will start to call Cody Dinger if he keeps that up.
Good job by the Tomcat defense not letting the turnover get ahead of them.
Absolutely. Ball on the 23 for Thiel. Their own 23. Radke in the gun with a sidecar and 3 wides on 1st and 10. The junior takes the snap, looks right, throws the flanker screen to Horvitis. He's across the 25 and up to about the 27-yard line. Now, we do want to mention, Don, Thiel is going to run a more controlled offense, dink and dunk more or less, much more so than Bethany probably will.
And I think you're going to see that this week, and you're certainly going to see it next week. What the Tomcats want to do is they want to shorten the game and keep those offenses off the field, and Tomcats are doing a fine job so far.
Horvitis wide right. Tajudin is in the slot to the right, Ronnie Howard to the left. In the gun, Radke with a sidecar on 2nd down and 6. He's going to give it off to Daly. This time Daly has room. He's across the 30 and up to about the 33-yard line. Looks like he's a yard shy. It is a first down. Good. So Daly from Claysburg Kimmel High School gets that first down. I didn't think they were going to give it to him, Don, but good news, they did. 1st and 10 Cats. At the 7:50 mark of the first period, 7-0, Bethany here on a rainy night in West Virginia. In the gun is Ryan Radke on 1st and 10. Gives it to Daly. Daly's going to fight. He gets maybe to the 35, and that's going to be it. We'll be generous. We'll give him 2. Call it 2nd and 8.
Matt May, the linebacker, came up and made a stop. But, Hugh, for those of you who were at the game last week or listened to us on the radio, Tomcats are doing a little bit what they did last week. If you remember, the running game with the running backs didn't really start till midway through the second period. It was Ryan Radke's legs that got the Tomcats started, and once they had to loosen up for that, then they could come back and pound with those twin freshman running backs.
Well, let's see if the strategy continues here. Radke is in the gun on 2nd and 8 with 3 wide receivers. Awaiting the snap from Rayshon Nevins. He gets it. Late pressure, throws incomplete, too high for Horvitis, up around midfield. Radke gets knocked on his wallet. He's up and fine. It's going to be 3rd down. Don, one thing I think the listeners need to be aware of here tonight, Radke is ultra-athletic. Last week against a much slower Allegheny team, he had his way scrambling. I don't think he's going to have his way with this athletic defense the Tomcats are facing tonight.
Now, certainly what will help his cause, though, if he can complete some of those passes over the middle and drop those linebackers and those secondary back a little bit, that'll open up the holes where he can run.
Tajudin, Howard, and Horvitis are in the passing formation here on 3rd down and 8. Back is Radke. Has lots of time. Throws for Howard. He's got it. 50, 45 to the 42. Ronnie Howard stepping up big early, the Sharon Tiger. First down, Thiel.
We talked last week about how big Ronnie Howard has gotten over the summer working out in the weight room under the Tomcat coaches. And I'll tell you what, he pulled a basketball move there, just shielded his body against the cornerback who was a little bit smaller. And Ryan put the ball between the 1 and the 0, moved the chains, first downs, Tomcats.
I'm going to tell you, he looked smooth on that route and smooth on the catch. He went up confidently. He said, this is my football. 1st and 10, Thiel at the 42 of Bethany. In the gun is Radke with a sidecar. Ryan takes the step, quarterback draw, got room, 40, 35, 30, 25, out of bounds, about the 21-yard line. Another first down for the Thiel Tomcats.
About 25 yards on that scramble that time. And again, what we talked about, start completing those passes. You're going to move that secondary back. Don't complete the passes. They're going to inch up, and then you can't do what Ryan does best, and that's get out in the open space.
That was a great call by offensive coordinator Darryl Satterfield. Got to give Darryl credit on that. He coaches the quarterbacks. He knows Radke better than anybody in this stadium, and perfect time to call that, Don. All right, here we go with an eye in the backfield for Thiel. 1st and 10 in business, knocking on the red zone at the 21 of Bethany. Under center is Radke. Radke's going to give it off to Daly. Daly's in the open. He's down inside the 15. He's down to the 11-yard line, and he's close to a first down. Let's see where they're going to put the football. They're going to bring it back out, to about the 12 or 12 and a half?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to put it down on the 13, so he's, I'd say, about 2.5 shy of the first down, but it's only second down. Great first down run by the freshman back. Daly sets up in the eye. Actually, that's Evan Imgrund in there. My mistake. Imgrund is the tailback now, and he had that nice run, Don.
Yes, he did.
All right, here comes Imgrund again, and Imgrund is going to be stopped short there after maybe a half yard. We'll see where they put it down. Evan Imgrund is about the same size.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit lighter, according to the program. 5'9", 180.
And it's hard to tell them apart with either their numbers 24, 27. It's hard to tell them, and they're going to be twins, and hopefully for the next 4 years for the Tomcats.
Ronnie Howard wide left, Hervitus to the right. It is 3rd and 2. It was no gain, so we're still at the 13-yard line. I in the backfield with Imgren dotting the I. Let's see what the Cats call. Here is Radke going to throw. He's got the fullback Zinsmeister, and he fights forward. Did he get enough?
It's going to be real close.
It's going to be real close. But I'll tell you, Justin Zinsmeister, not a real quick kid, but built close to the ground. Looks like he spends a lot of time in the weight room. Weighs about 215, and he carried a tackler there. And I think the officials are going to bring the sticks from the other side of the field and do a measurement here.
And I'll tell you what, let's give Ryan Radke some credit that time. Boy, they brought the house that time, and Ryan you'd like to say he threw off his back foot, but both feet were off the ground, so he kind of just muscled it in there, and
right.
It's real close to a first down. And I got to believe the Tomcats, if it comes up a little bit short, will be going for it again.
I would think they would, Don. The ball is shy of the 10 at looks like about the 10.5 from where I'm standing. 7-0 Bethany, but the first big measurement of the football game. They stretch it out, and it looks like it is a first down.
Not even close.
Justin Zinsmeister could have settled for no gain there, Don, but he got 2.5 yards. And the kid from Baldwin High School had a chance to talk to his dad last week, and he has a younger brother who's the backup tight end on this football team, and his dad is grinning from ear to ear.
Oh, yeah.
Believe you me. They just love coming to Tomcat football games.
He could have given up, but that's not Tomcat fullback football.
1st and 10, not 1st and goal at the 10.5 for Thiel as they bid to tie this game up. Radke has a banana bunch to the left. 3 wides over there, and he's in the gun with a sidecar. He's back. He's going to throw for the end zone. Does he have a man that's out of bounds? Incomplete. Horvitis, was that or was that?
No, it was going for Ryan Rowland, the tight end.
Ryan Rowland, the big tight end.
They put the banana bunch out there and then sent the tight end out behind them and tried to get him in the corner of the end zone.
Kind of a well-designed
play.
Nice
play. Well,
to get it to the big tight end out there, but not quite. So it's 2nd down and 10 for the Tomcats. All right, Horvitis left, Howard in the slot left, and let's see, we have another receiver out here to the right.
It's Jones.
Jones is in the game. Here is the fake. No, it's a give. Imgren is not going to go anywhere. He's tackled down at about the 10-yard line, and who was chasing him down on that play but Donovan Hayden, the linebacker who's all over the field in every game.
And I'll tell you what, if Hayden hadn't gotten him, the field had opened up, and he was heading for the end zone, but Hayden got him, and he's gotten a couple of thousand other people in his career. We've been calling his name for like 15 years.
So it is going to be 3rd down and 10 as the Cats have gotten nothing on 2 plays. Paul Jones left. He would be a great target in the red zone. Horvitis wide right and Howard in the slot right. Let's get it done here, Ryan. Man in motion to Juden to the left. In the gun is Radke. He's back. He looks. He has time. He throws. He's got his receiver, Ronnie Howard. I think it was Ronnie Howard.
Ronnie Howard.
And he's inside the 5, but he's going to be... Is Ronnie hurt on the field?
Yeah,
he's not getting up yet. Oh, boy.
Looks like that knee, maybe.
Oh, boy. He's down at the 5-yard line. As the training staff comes out, we'll take a quick break on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach back at Bison Stadium in Bethany, West Virginia, 7-0 Bethany late first quarter. Ronnie Howard stretching for extra yardage, helped off the field by the training staff. He's now limping on his own. We won't speculate. Looks like a knee issue. It's 4th down and goal, and the Cats are going to try the field goal. Into the game to try the kick is Colin Peel. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Colin Thiel, 4 for 5 on the young season in field goals, and a great job that time by the holder, Pat Schaefer. It is now Bethany 7, Thiel 3 on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and ComDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and ComDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Dan Ross, running backs coach of the Tomcats. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
Sophomore Colin Thiel nails a 22-yard field goal, capping a nice drive for Thiel that fell a little bit short at the 5-yard line. Thiel will kick off, and he falls down as he kicks it, and it's going to squib down the field and be touched at the 35 by a Bethany player who went sliding down to the ground. That's about as good as...
thing, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt Thiel at all. By the way, if you haven't seen this kicker, Colin Thiel, he's 5'3", 125 pounds, soaking wet.
That's what they say.
And he's from nearby Point Pleasant High School in, I hope I'm right, Plenty, West Virginia.
Absolutely.
Right? Plenty. Okay. He's back home.
He's back home.
And he already showed them what he's made of on the field goal. All right, 1st and 10 now for Bethany as Reyes is in the gun, and he's going to give it to Holmes, and he's loose. But the Cats catch him this time, and Doak Walker said, you beat me once, you're not going to beat me again. And he gets him at the 43, but he gets 9, and that is going to be a 2nd and 1 situation now for Bethany. Antonio Hanna is now in at tailback, and Hanna gets the ball. He dances. He's getting away at the 50 and downed at the 47. Boy, you think the starter Holmes is quick. How about this Hanna? He looks like a little jitterbug out there.
And I'll tell you what, you're starting to see water pooling up on the field.
Yes.
He splashed that time when he tackled, and that may have an impact in the offensive calls here.
Here comes the no-huddle offense, and the give is off to Hanna, and he is stopped.
False start.
Oh, okay. The whistle stopped the play because I think they were a little bit too hasty, the Bethany Bison offense was, to get that play off.
False start.
False start, going to cost them 5 and move it back across midfield to about the 49-yard line. Antonio Hanna, 180-pounder. He doesn't look that big. From Darlington, South Carolina. Is he a race car fan?
Got to be down there, don't you?
All right, here's Reyes throwing and completing, and the tackle's missed. 40, 35, 30, and out of bounds over on the far side at about the 26-yard line. He's run out of bounds. Tony Linyard was the recipient of that short swing pass by the quarterback, and he eluded a Tomcat defender and got good yardage. So here comes Bethany again in Thiel territory at the 26. Here's the give. No, it's a fake, and Linyard is going to keep it. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Right up the middle. Everybody thought Antonio Hanna was going to get the football, but Linyard keeps it, or Reyes keeps it, and Reyes takes it to pay dirt. And that was, about 20 yards?
20 yards right on the button.
20 yards?
Yeah, about 26.
26 yards. Touchdown for the quarterback. And already we can tell you Lincoln Reyes, the quarterback, can scoot too. They have so much speed on this team, it's unbelievable. All right. Chris Ray is in to kick. The kick is up, and the kick is barely good. Just inside the uprights. Time out on the field. It's now Bethany 14, Thiel 3 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Kurt Reiser, head football coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
A great play fake by quarterback Lincoln Reyes. Every Thiel player, I think, thought he handed it to the tailback, but he didn't. He kept it himself, broke a couple of tackles, made a nice run for 26 yards, and a touchdown, and the extra point is good, and it's now a 14-3 game, and a high kick signaled for a fair catch there by one of the Thiel Tomcats, and
Jake Elk.
Was that Jake Elk, the linebacker? Who
probably a real good idea.
Yeah, pretty good hands the young man showed us there. But he makes the fair catch, and Thiel gets the ball now on the, where are they going to put it, about the 25.
Tomcats need to answer, Hugh.
Yeah, they do. They had a nice drive that came up a little short, had to settle for a field goal. Paul Jones is in the game wide right. Tajadin is wide left. No Ronnie Howard on the field. Remember, he left a little bit ago with a knee problem. We'll see if we can find out what the extent of that injury might be. Under center, Radke, and he's going to give it off to the tailback. And we're going to wait here to get a number.
27.
It was 27, which means that Kevin Daly is back in. Daly wears 27. Imgren wears 24. They're about the same size, and to be honest, it's a little hard to tell them apart. But this time it was Kevin Daly out of Oil City High School, who now resides in Sharon, Pennsylvania, who made that run for a yard, making it 2nd and 9. Jones and Horvitis both come to the right this time. Not having Ronnie Howard in that lineup will certainly hamper the Tomcat passing game. He was off to a great start in this game. All right, Radke's going to go back. He's got Nadar in his kitchen. He's going to throw it away, incomplete at the 45, intended for Jones. But Radke just wanted to get rid of that football because, man, I'll tell you, that guy is ultra quick. Nadim Radar, 5'11", 260 from Laurel, Maryland.
I think the Tomcats had a miscommunication in the backfield because Ryan went one way expecting to do a play fake, and the back went the other way, and Ryan didn't have a whole lot of protection out there. So he had to scramble around a little bit and get the ball away, and almost a nice catch by Paul Jones, but no avail.
All right, I think we have a new Thiel receiver in the game. Is that Rob Thompson? There are 4 wides in the game, so it makes sense. Thompson out of Youngstown Christian is in there. In the gun, Radke back. He gets late pressure. He releases, incomplete to Jodin.
Boy, it was there.
Could have made that catch at the 42. I'm not going to call it a drop, but I think the young man might say, I could have, should have had that.
I think it's more, it's raining like crazy out there, and the ball's wet.
Yep, and the pass is incomplete. So the Cats, trailing 14-7 against this explosive Bethany team, are going to have to punt the football. Now here, folks, is where you want to hold your collective breath, because Eric Blinn is one of the deep men here for Bethany College, and he is joined by, is that Tyler Ambush, I believe?
Yes.
So you could get blitzed by Blinn and ambushed by Ambush here. And there is a flag that flies as Dylan Squires takes the snap. It's a false start on Thiel, so that's going to cost him 5.
It's a dangerous part of the game right
here. This is
Hugh.
a very dangerous, especially in this weather, because Blinn is, I'm going to say, one of the better punt returners in Division III.
Yeah, he is.
This kid is that good, and Ambush is no slouch. Dylan Squires has got to get the leg into this, and boy, if he could do a little Aussie kick in here and kick it away from these two, it would be all the better. Here's the snap, gets it away from the 10, has a good line drive kick that's going to be taken by Blinn, 50, 40, out of bounds, 37-yard line, and a flag flies. I'll bet that's a block in the back.
I think it's a late hit from number 55. Let's see who number 55 is for him, and he is, looks like Dylan Stewart took a shot at one of the Tomcats after he was out of bounds.
Okay, well, either way, it would be a penalty on Bethany, which would help because Blinn gave them real good field position down at about the 31-yard line. The officials are talking this thing over, and let's see what they're going to decide by committee. Personal foul is what you said, Mr. Achenbach, and it is against the kicking or the kick return team, as you said, Mr. Achenbach. So they are going to hot-foot it back across midfield.
That's a good thing.
And nullify that nice return by Blinn, put it at the 48-yard line.
Tomcat defense has not had an answer, Hugh, to the no huddle offense by Bethany. When Bethany huddles, the Tomcat D doesn't. That's part of that being that young defensive front, not exactly knowing what their assignments are and not having time to think about it.
Reyes is going to come out in the gun again. He's been in the gun all day with a sidecar, and he's going to give it to Holmes, who's back in, and Holmes dances, comes across the 50, and slithers down to the 46-yard line. He gets about 6 yards on the play. And you know, Don, with most backs, that would have been stopped for a 3-yard gain, but with his quick feet, he gets 6.
And he's low to the ground, and with this wet weather, he's going to be very popular.
Reyes back to Howard. Now, who has the ball? Reyes still does. And there you see I was faked.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Holmes who...
no, Reyes kept it.
I know, Reyes kept it, but it was Holmes who did the nice fake. But Reyes kept it, but the Cats weren't fooled. They stopped him at the 45, setting up a 3rd down and about 3. That's the end of period number 1. Bethany 14, Thiel 3 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Matt Arshenkoff, Special Teams Coordinator and Defensive Backs Coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach back at Bethany, West Virginia, set to start the second quarter on a rainy night in West Virginia. It is 14-3 Bethany, and the Bison will set up shop. First down and 10 at the Thiel 45-yard line. Here's Reyes' pass falling down into the muck. Incomplete. I don't know who that was. That intended for Blinn, I believe?
Yeah, it was. And Shane Russell broke up the play by standing in front of it. He had to throw the ball away. Sets up a 4th down. They're talking about going for it, but here comes the punt team.
Okay.
Good job, D. Good job, Tomcat D.
Absolutely. So they're going to send the punter out, and who's the punter this time? They've got a new punter out there, looks like.
Number 2.
No, it's Aaron Fry.
Yeah, it's Aaron
he
Fry.
was the punter earlier. He's standing back at the 40, and the Cats are going to send Kevin Daly back to about the 15-yard line. This is his first tour of duty as a punt returner. A sure-handed guy. We hope in this weather he's going to let it hit, and it's going to take a big bounce for Bethany down inside the 10, and it's kicked at about the 11-yard line, or no, a little bit before that.
About the 11-yard line.
Of course, really, I can't criticize you. You kind of moan, but I think Daly was smart to let that go. The punt was too short.
You know, I understand, but it's tough to give up that field position, especially on a night like tonight.
But, boy, you come flying up
I never moan about my Tomcats, you.
I know.
Sometimes I question things.
I know. We all do.
And a fair catch might have been okay there. But I wouldn't criticize them.
All right, it's 1st and 10 now for the Thiel Tomcats down at the 11-yard line, their own 11. Can they get out of this hole? The give is straight ahead, and our tailback that is in that game is who? Was that Key Dennis?
Yep.
All right, Key Dennis, the short yardage back, tried to get a little bit of short yardage and get it out of the shadow of his own end zone here, out across the 10 to the about the 12-yard line. So Key gets 2, and it's 2nd down and 8. He's listed in the program at about 185, but this kid is closer to 210, 215. We're going to have to talk to the sports information director about that.
He's solid.
Yeah, he is. Who, the sports information director?
He's solid, too.
Okay. All right, the give this time is at Dennis again.
Yeah, again, but stop.
And he is stopped cold this time, and he actually loses about 3 yards back to the 10-yard line.
Donovan Hayden again coming in from his linebacker position. He reads the play so well. You know, he's such a good football player. He's always in good football position. He hits like a ton of bricks. But the most important thing is he recognizes the play so quickly, and he gets into the hole. He must spend a lot of time watching film over the week because he seems to always know what's coming.
Paul Jones is wide left. Be nice to see him get open here. Thiel needs 11 on 3rd down from their own 10. Under center is Radke. Radke is going to be back. He has time. He's going to air it out for Jones. Jones is out there. He dropped the ball or misjudged it or something.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was up in the air. He had 3 guys on him, and I think he was looking up into those raindrops, and the ball just sort of hit the chest, hit the thigh, hit the knee, hit the ground, and nobody feels worse than he does. Boy, that would have been huge.
Yeah, he had warded off the defenders up at his own 47. That would have been a huge turnaround play for Thiel. But as it is, Dylan Squires is going to be standing 3 yards deep in the end zone.
We always talk about battle of field position, and the Tomcats are losing the field position battle right now. We'll see where this ends up with Blinn ends up with the ball.
Well, you got Blinn and ambush out there. Squires gets it away, and again, a decent punt. It's going to be caught at the 45. Here comes Blinn. He's at the 35 and down at the 31-yard line, so they're going to have great field position here. But again, a good punt by Dylan Squires.
Nice
but, hey, when you have to kick the ball to Blinn, it's hard to get your coverage people down there that fast.
And this is a tough situation for the Tomcats. They're setting up shop. This is a good, potent Bison offense, and you're taking away 70 yards of field position, setting them up just outside the 30, and that's a tough call for a young defense, but somebody's going to have to step up and make a play, and we haven't called Riley Shane's name tonight, so it's about time for him to maybe separate somebody from the football.
Yes, it is. We have not called his name yet, and that's rare that big number 58, the captain of the defense, has been held in check. All right, the ball is at the 32 of Thiel. Reyes is in the gun, and he has a sidecar.
False start.
In Holmes, and it's a false start against Bethany, and that'll set him back 5.
That helps.
Yeah, Thiel will take that. So that moves it back to about the 37. 13:03 remaining until halftime. If you're just joining us on a rainy night, I'll tell you, I'm going to have to call the Weather Channel. They said it was only going to be a 15% chance for game time. They missed the mark, folks. It's 100% right now. Straight back Reyes. He's going to call his own number. He's going to get away a little bit across the 35 and down to the 30. And he may have a first down. No, he doesn't have it.
He got the yardage back.
He got the yardage back. He lost in another yard.
Yeah.
So he's going to be about 8 yards shy. We'll say 7 yards shy. They put it down at the 30. So let's see if the Cats can stop him here. 2nd down. Here's the quick screen, incomplete for Blinn. It was a little underthrown, but good coverage out there by one of the Tomcats, and that was one of the linebackers, Shane Russell, who came up and broke that up. But Blinn was all set to cut inside, but didn't have the football yet.
A great job by John Herrickle, too, scouting us out. That's about the 3rd time they've tried to run that play, and there's always been a linebacker in the middle of it.
All right, 3rd down and 7 for Reyes, and I think a cat jumped. It's a free play. Reyes going to air it out down the field, and he's got the receiver, and he's got a touchdown. Can you believe that? Blinn out-jumped Jones down at the goal line and fell in. Eric Blinn. Chris Jones had pretty good coverage, Dawn, but Jones is 5'9", or 5'7", actually, and Blinn is 6'1", and there's your difference. Plus, Blinn is a great receiver, uses his body very well. So, that's far too easy. The Cats have given up a bomb, and now they're in a very dangerous zone at the 12:28 mark of the second period, trailing 20-3. And in to try to add the 21st point here is Chris Ray. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. Bethany 21, Thiel 3 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and ComDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and ComDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
Well, the all-everything receiver, Eric Blinn, after the Tomcats jumped and the flag flew, it was still a free play, and Reyes and Blinn teamed up for a 31-yard pitch and catch, touchdown, extra point, 21-3 now. Bethany is in the lead. All right, here's the kickoff going to Paul Jones down at the 2. He's at the 10, the 15. Here he comes, 25-30. He's at the 35. He's at the 40. He's going to be tackled at the 42. That guy is electric.
I'll tell you what, he's going to break one of these days, because that was just a heck of a return there. He caught the ball over his shoulder. The ball went over his head, caught it over his shoulder, turned back upfield, and ended up with a 40-yard net return.
All right, 1st and 10 now for the Thiel College Tomcats, trailing 21-3 in the rain at Bethany. Under center, no, Radke's going to be in the gun with 3 wides on 1st and 10 at the 42. Sidecar, and he's back. A lot of pressure. They're coming after him. He gets rid of it, and caught by Rowland. Ryan Rowland, the tight end at the 47 or 48-yard line. He is athletic, Don, and
Absolutely.
He showed it right there.
Dylan Stewart had him covered, actually stepped in front of him and knocked the ball away, and Ryan stayed with it, and Rowland ended up catching the ball and picking up a nice 6-7 yard gain.
Yep. He's going to catch a lot of balls, this sophomore is, I think, in this Thiel offense over the years.
And I think I'd look for him a lot tonight with the rush they're getting. To be a nice quick pop passes would be great.
I think I would too. Okay, Tomcats have 3 wides in the ball game. Ronnie Howard still not in the game after hurting his knee early. Here's the give this time, and with the football, Evan Imgren. And Imgren gets a couple of yards up to the 48-yard line, 1 yard really. And we'll call it a 3rd down and a long 3 now for Thiel.
Yeah, that play didn't mesh quite as well. The snap was just a little bit high, and Ryan had to belly it in a little sooner than he wanted to, and so the Tomcat didn't mesh quite as well. But I'll tell you what, give credit to this Bethany defense. This Green Wave defense is playing an inspired football right now, and it's going to take a big play by the Tomcats to get out of it. But we have some big players right now, and let's see if we can find one of them.
All right, let's see what we do here. In the gun is Radke. He's back. He has time. He throws too high for Tajuden, or rather for Vitus at the 47 of Bethany. So it's going to be 4th down and long 3 for Thiel.
Well, it was there too, Ryan.
Yep.
Ryan would like to have that one back. That one was right there, and would have picked up the 1st down. But look, we'll come back to it. Still lots of time to go in this game. Tomcat defense get re-energized here and maybe get a turnover.
All right. Are the Cats going to line up?
Yeah.
They're punting. Okay, so Dylan Squires stands back at his 35.
Don't kick it to number 4.
Blinn and ambush or deep. You want to try ambush this time?
No, kick it in the end zone.
Kick it in the end zone. Or how about out of bounds just behind them? High and short. Going to bounce at about the 31, and the Cats are going to down it at the 34-yard line. And there to do the downing was linebacker Shane Russell on special teams. So with a 21-7 lead, Bethany gets the football at the 10:41 mark of the 2nd period on their own 29-yard line.
See if the Tomcats, what they dialed up, which Coach Herrickle and his staff over there dialed up to see if we can maybe shake it up a little bit, bring somebody off the edge or something. There's just right now Bethany's running the whole gamut of the playbook, so you really can't focus on one thing. About the only thing we've stopped so far tonight is that little screen pass to Blinn, and they've taken advantage of everything else.
Reyes has Antonio Hanna as his setback, and he throws the pass to Blinn at the 35 and up to about the 39. Jones in coverage for Thiel makes the tackle at about the 38-yard line. And that's a gain of about 8, we'll call it second down and a short 2. In the gun, Reyes going to throw out to this side, caught by Lynyard, and he gets away. Missed tackle, 40, 30 in the open. He's going to go all the way, and a great block down at the 15, and a flag flies. So don't put that touchdown down yet.
Flag back here, too.
There's a flag back here. I think maybe both of them. Oh, did a Tomcat get laid out at the 10-yard line?
Yeah, that used to be a nice highlight on SportsCenter, but you're not allowed to do that anymore. You're not allowed to take a defenseless back like that. It was Eric Blinn who made the hit. It was, 15 years ago, he'd be carried off on his shoulders, but you're just not allowed to do that anymore.
Did he hit Jones?
Yeah.
Chris Jones, the cornerback for Thiel, I believe, is the injured player. Oh, my goodness, did he peel back Blinn and crock that kid? Oh.
Yeah, I see concussion protocols in his
Yeah,
future.
I think so. Oh, my goodness.
But they are marching all the way back to the line of scrimmage, so it must be the first flag must be against Bethany as well.
Lynyard made a great run there for Bethany and had that thing in the end zone, but then the block occurred, but there was something back upfield.
I think the reason he was so
before that. Is he up and walking off, Chris Jones? He is walking off. The trainers are around him.
Yeah.
And they're not going to give him any leeway there. Let's see how he is.
They're going to be taking his helmet away real quick.
Well, he still has it on.
It was holding against Bethany, so that's why I think Lynyard got out there so free.
Mm-hmm.
And see where they're moving the ball back to.
Well, they're standing at the 40. So let's see.
I don't know if that would be if they'd double up on that or not, because I think they're going to double up on both of those penalties. It's going to be the 10-yard for the holding, and then probably the.
Well, they're going to take the ball back to the 37-yard line. Yeah. Bethany's own 37. So wipe off the touchdown. It's still 21-3 Bethany. And the Bison are going to go back to their own 37-yard line to start this series.
And now we got to figure out who the new cornerback is for the Tomcats.
Well, I see 31 Trey Andrews in the ball game.
Richard Proper,
Number
16.
A very good young freshman from Seneca Valley High School. Here's the pass out into the flat, and it's caught by the receiver, and running is Tyler Ambush, and out of bounds in Thiel territory to where? About the 41, 42-yard line. Must have stepped down of bounds upfield here a little bit.
Boy, I tell you, they do a nice job of hitting their receivers in stride.
And they're running the fast break offense right now with 4 wides. Reyes with a sidecar, and that'll teach you. Keep running the fast break, illegal motion.
False start again for the Bison, and that gives the Tomcat defense a chance to catch their breaths and maybe get a sub or two in there because this Bison offense is relentless.
Certainly is. They're in attack mode now. And let me tell you, folks, they have the weapons to use in attack mode. I mean, their skill people they have out there right now are high-end. If you had a 4x100 relay, they could win a state title, I think. They are really athletic. Here's Reyes giving it off to the tailback, and that's Holmes, and he's going to be tackled from behind by one of the Tomcats. And making that play, I believe, was Jeremy Steffine, the freshman from Central Valley High School in Monaca, Pennsylvania. So it's a gain up to the Thiel 44, bringing up second down. And what is that, about 12 or 13? All right, Reyes is back, going to air it out for Blinn. He's in the open. Blinn doesn't get it, and a great play by Trey Andrews.
Nice job, Trey.
What a job by Mr. Andrews on pass defense. He was beaten on the play, but he got back there with closing speed, and at the last second knocked the ball out of Blinn's hands as it was coming in.
Great job not giving up on the play, kept going back, got his hand up, knocked the ball away just at the last minute. Good play.
All right, 3rd and 12.
Let's get some pressure, Cats.
Reyes calling signals, now looking over to the coach. The receivers look over, say, give us the play too. All right, they must know they have a lot of time here. Here's the snap to Reyes, the rush, the pass to Blinn. He's got the ball inside the 25 and down at about the 20. This kid This kid ought to play for the New England Patriots. He looks like a pro right now.
I'll tell you what.
He knows how to find the zone and get open.
Very close.
Wow.
Very close to becoming the all-time leading receiver in the PAC.
Yes, and we'll try to tell you when it happens. Here's Reyes back. His arm is hit. He gets to Blinn, and this is now the Reyes and Blinn show, and he makes the catch inside the 15 at the 14. They're going to have that record maybe by halftime here, Dawn. We have 8:35 on a turning clock. Bethany trying to add to their 21-3 lead. Reyes going to throw the flanker screen. This is ambush, and he's trying to get away, and he does. He breaks 2 Tomcat tackles simply because they did not wrap up.
Tried to go up high on him, and with the slippery night and slippery receiver, just slid right off and allowed him to pick up about 6-7 more yards. So it's up 3rd and about 1.
Yeah, 3rd and 1 now inside the... Where is that ball? Down at the 10-yard line?
About the 14.
About the 14, okay. Well, I don't think it's a 14, is it?
Yeah, maybe the 11.
Maybe about the 11.
I was going with the scoreboard.
We'll call it the 11, and here's the give, and this is Holmes. He's running around, Stefan after him, Riley Shane after him. Nobody can get him. Did he get the first down inside the 10?
No, it looks like he's right back to the line of scrimmage.
Is he right back to the line of scrimmage? He ran about 25 yards.
Going to be close.
And got maybe a half yard. They're going to put it down at about the 10, I believe. Right on the 10?
Looks like it's a little outside the 10, so it's going to be close. Looks like they're calling it 4th and less than a yard.
4th and less than a yard. So do you bring your quarterback in under center? And
I don't think they have that play, Hugh.
They probably don't.
They're bringing in a big running back.
Yeah, they're bringing in a big short yardage guy.
Tight
that
end.
Looks like Montez Lee. He's a defensive end.
Good time for the Tomcats to make a play here.
All right, Holmes in the backfield. Holmes gets the ball, and he's got the first down inside the 10 down to about the 7. And what, we have a timeout on the field?
No, it's first down.
First down just to get the chains moved. All right, coming back into the game now for Bethany is Tyler Ambush. Reyes is in the gun. And here's the give to the tailback, and with the football that time is Jalen Holmes.
Not doing anything fancy, just running off tackle, and they only need 8 yards to get the end zone. They just picked up 3 of it, so now they're at the 5.
Yeah, they're down at the 5, 2nd and goal. Clock is down to 7 minutes remaining in the second period. Reyes in the gun. Holmes beside him. Reyes, quarterback keep, unmolested.
That was Blinn.
Touchdown, or Blinn was at quarterback. They ran Blinn out of the quarterback position. What can't this kid do? He takes the handoff, and nobody touched him. Right up the middle. Quarterback draw by the wide receiver. And it's now 27-3 Bethany. Blinn will hold.
Why not?
Well, hey, you can do it all.
Took tickets before the game, sold programs.
Chris Ray, the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. Bethany 28, Thiel 3 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvica, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach back at Bison Stadium. Eric Blinn, the wide receiver, turned quarterback, 5-yard run, extra point good, 28-3. The score here, Bethany leading the Thiel Tomcats, and the kicker Umar Moore is going to boot the ball away to double safeties, and it's kind of squibbed along the ground, picked up by a short guy who was very alert on the play, Dawn, at about the 37-yard line. And who was that young man?
That'd be freshman Jamie Summers.
Okay, Jamie Summers was the Johnny on the spot to get the ball.
From Union City, PA.
So the Cats have the ball on their own 38-yard line First and 10 at the 6:49 mark, remaining in period number 2. And they've got to get this offense moving on what is now a wet, slippery field. Radke is under center with an eye behind him and 2 wides. Remember, Ronnie Howard hurt his knee early in this ball game and left. Here's a pass down the field. Did he catch that ball? No, almost. He was tumbling to the ground. Was that Horvitis?
Yeah, it was Horvitis, and he was being covered down there very closely by Tyreek Darby, and the feet got tangled up. They're calling it incidental contact, but Horvitis was on his way down and almost made the catch.
Yep, almost did. It would have been
from his backside.
Yeah.
And Tomcats are going to have to open this up a little bit now. Obviously, trailing by 25 points, but they got to, stay focused. There's lots of time left. Tomcats can get this thing back under control.
All right, let's see what they can do here. Here's the give, and looks like Daly running the football across the 40 up to the 44-yard line, and he gets some pretty nice yardage there, setting up 3rd down and 4, and a little bit late on piling there.
Ball came loose, and I think they were looking for a fumble.
Yeah, Daly was the ball carrier, and he gets 6, setting up 3rd and 4. Cats need to convert this. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Notre Dame today defeated Virginia by a score of 34-27. The Pitt Panthers still having a lot of trouble scoring points, at least today, without James Conner. They are leading Akron 10-7 in the 3rd quarter on the out-of-town scoreboard. Under center is Radke with an eye behind him. He's going to roll left. He's got a little back pressure. He's going to run. He's got yardage. He's across the 50, 45, 40, and down at the 38-yard line. About another missed ankle tackle, Don, and he might have been off to the races there. But as it is, he gets the Cat first down at the 38 of the Bethany Bison.
Nice job by Ryan that time. Sprinted out looking for a receiver downfield. Didn't see one. Bethany brought the entire fort coming at him, and he just stepped through the second and into the secondary and then does what Ryan Radke does best, and that's pile up yardage.
Paul Jones right, Horvitis left, Tajudin is in the slot right. In the gun, Radke with a sidecar on 1st and 10. He is back. He's going to call the quarterback draw. Gets away inside the 35 and down to about the 32.5-yard line.
And again, that's another nice play by Ryan Radke. I think you're going to have to see a little bit of that. This is we talked about earlier about using the pass to set up the run. This is Ryan Radke at his best. Let's put some pressure on. Let's make those guys step back a little bit. Maybe look for him, and then maybe find somebody streaking across for the touchdown pass.
Rob Thompson is in replacing Horvitis. Thompson goes to the left, and out to the right is Paul Jones with an eye behind the quarterback on 2nd down and 4 for Thiel at the 33. Here's the give, and Daly is tripped up, and did he fumble? No, but that tackle by Bethany.
Darby again coming in from the outside, just shot through the gap and caught the young freshman before he could really get his momentum going. Pretty much no gain, sets up 3rd and 4, and another play here for the Tomcat offense. And again, once again, let's look like we've looked so many times. Let's look for Ryan Radke.
Rowland comes back into the ball game at tight end for Thiel as clock runs to 4:20 remaining first half. Reminder, stay tuned at halftime. Our special guest is R.J. Molson.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous.
He's going to run around. He is not going to get out of that trouble. Back at the 36-yard line. Too many green jerseys in his kitchen. And big number 66 is celebrating Eric Campbell. So we'll give him credit for the tackle. It's now 4th down and 7 for Thiel. Back at the 36 of Bethany.
Tomcats are going to spread it out a little bit, see if Ryan can find somebody down. That time he stayed in the pocket looking for his receivers, but they were covered and just didn't have a chance to get the ball away.
4 wides in the game for Thiel. Sidecar for Radke, who's in the gun. He needs 7 for the first down. He's back. Some pressure. He's going to air it down here. Paul Jones is run into.
There's the flag.
You got to flag him, and they do. He was run into by the defensive back, and let's see who that culprit is.
That was Tyreek Darby. I'll tell you what, though, the referee who should have called the penalty didn't, and he was the center of the field threw the flag in. And I mean, that was clearly
He was
pass
2 feet away, standing there with the whistle in his mouth. So the one guy got it, and that's what's important.
That'll give the Tomcats a first down and keep the drive going.
The rain has let up a little bit. It's still raining lightly. This has been an afternoon here in West Virginia where just been kind of steady. Nothing that's going to be drenching, but steady. Had the hardest rain late first quarter, early second.
Enough to drench the field. There's lots of standing water out there on this artificial surface.
All right, it's going to be 1st and 10 after the penalty. They move the ball down to the 20 of Bethany. Cats really need to score here to get back in this football game a bit. All right, Radke in the gun with 4 wides, and a flag flies, and I'll bet it's too much time.
No, 6 seconds left on the clock. False start. Somebody flinched on the offensive line.
So that'll cost them 5, set up a 1st and 15.
Whenever you go to a long count like that, it's hard for those offensive linemen, especially with them pushing around all night, to hold that stance, and it doesn't take much just to flinch, and with your muscles start twitching a little bit, and that's enough to draw the flag, and that time the Tomcats are now penalized another 5 yards, so 1st and 15.
All right, 1st and 15 for Radke. Radke in the gun. He's back. He's going to look. He's trying to get away, but he can't. And who made that tackle? Big number 53 was all over him, rushing from the left side. Freshman defensive tackle Daniel Gibson. And that's a loss that's going to set up 3rd down and very long for Thiel. My goodness, Dawn, that's a 3rd and, what is it, 15? No, it's more than that. 2nd down.
Probably about 20, 21 maybe.
Is it 2nd or 3rd down? 2nd down, 21, we'll call it. Back at the 34-yard line of Bethany. All right, Ryan, let's see what we can do here. 3 wides to the left, 1 to the right. Radke in the gun. They're showing blitz on defense. Here they come. And somebody got him, but Tajudin made the catch inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. He gets maybe 5 or 6 of the yards back, setting up 3rd down. Looks to be about 17 maybe.
Yeah, with Bethany in this kind of situation, they're going to pin their ears back, and they're going to come back after Ryan. So Ryan's trying to opt out of with the quick little hitters and maybe whittle into this little bit of a yardage gain that he has to get, and then maybe set it up for maybe a 4th and short or something. But right now, Ryan's got to be careful.
All right, this is a big 3rd down for Thiel. And they're going to need about 16 yards for the 1st down. 4 wides in the ball game. Radke's back. There comes pressure. He's throwing on the run, and man, you can't expect a quarterback to complete a pass with a guy breathing down your neck like that. I mean, that was a big old jailbreak, and leading the way was Devon McClain, a junior defensive end at 230 pounds. So it's 4th down. And about 17 yards to go, 16 yards to go from the 27-yard line. And, of course, at the 146 mark of period number 2 and trailing 28-3, the Cats have no choice but to line up, go for it, and hope for the best.
I'd find number 81.
I think I'd look for 81, too, and he is out to the right. Here's the snap. Radke back. He's getting heat. And somebody came over a shoulder. Come on, let's see the flag. Tajudin was the young man, at the receiver at the 15, but he's not going to get any call. Somebody went up over his back, and, of course, they're going to say he was going for the football.
He was definitely going for the football. He just happened to be going through number 7 to get to it.
It just looks so obvious because the defender is so much bigger than the Thiel receiver, Tajudin. But it's incomplete, and the Cats turn the ball over on downs to Bethany. Out-of-town score in baseball after 3 innings at Heinz Field. The Pirates lead the Brewers behind Jeff Locke, 5-0. Here's the give to the, no, it's a keep by Reyes, the quarterback, 35, 40, 45, 50, still going. Cats missing tackles and out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. Boy, he is hurting the Tomcats, not only with his arm, but also with his legs.
with a minute 33 and a half, the Tomcats need to stick it in here and stuff them up a little bit, can't afford to let them get another score.
All right, Corey Platt is going wide to the left, joining Lanyard out there. Blinn is out here to the right, and what do we have now? The officials.
I think we have an equipment timeout here.
Equipment timeout. What? Who has the problem? Blinn is over here talking to the coach, but no equipment adjustment is being made.
I think they started the clock, and they need to.
Oh, so they're going to readjust the clock, which right now says 1:22.
Probably going to be closer to 1:36. On 1:33. Not too bad. Nice guess.
Where's the recorder?
I don't have it.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to teal.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Well, while we were on that commercial break, they got the equipment straightened around, but the Cats didn't get the defense straightened around. Quarterback came out, Reyes, and fired a pass, a slant to Blinn from 42 yards. He took it in for the touchdown. The extra point is good by the place kicker, Chris Ray. And Dawn, just like that, Blinn has a record. It's now 35-3 in favor of Bethany with 1:25 remaining until halftime. We'll take this 30-second break on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. The Greens of Greenville. Log on to greensofgreenville.com. And Ilsko Extrusions Incorporated, one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years, and proud to support Thiel College. Log on to ilskoextrusions.com for more information. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to teal.edu.
I'm Dan Ross, running backs coach of the Tomcats. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
All right, following the 42-yard touchdown by Blinn, the recipient of the pass from quarterback Reyes, the squib kick is taken by one of the Tomcats at the 32, freshman Jeremy Steffine. Starting defensive end was there on special teams. And at the 33-yard line is where they're going to put the ball down. And with a minute 19 remaining until halftime, Thiel has the ball 1st and 10. But this has gotten very ugly here in this second quarter. It's 35-3 Bethany. It's been a scoring barrage. Here's a wide receiver screen pass to Alex Horvitis from quarterback Ryan Radke. And the tackle is made by Padilla. Larry Padilla, the linebacker, his first tackle that we have of the day, and he stops him for a 2-yard loss, and it's going to be 2nd down and 12, and we have another timeout. We'll take a quick time on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture. Proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckley'sappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to teal.edu.
I'm Kurt Reiser, head football coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach back at Bison Stadium in West Virginia. A big lead right now by Bethany, Don Achenbach, 35-3. This has been an explosive second quarter for Bethany.
We said the program was up and coming, and we're getting a first-hand taste of that tonight.
All right, Ryan Radke is now in the gun at his own 30-yard line, 2nd and 13, and he's going to call his own number, and he's going to dance around and actually get a little bit of yardage up to about the, about the 35-yard line. And there's a timeout called by Thiel. We'll keep it here, Don. 3rd down and about 8 is the situation the Cats face. And, it's just been an explosion by this very athletic Bethany team, and the Cats have kind of gotten swallowed up in it.
Well, they're a young football team, and we got a little spoiled last week with the performance, and this Bethany team came to play. They got spanked last week by Mount Union like everybody does, and they came out tonight in their home opener, and they're all excited, and Tomcats just haven't answered the bell yet. And still a lot of this whole second half. And what the Tomcats need to do now is let's get back to basics. Let's line up. Let's play football. Let's run some plays. Let's have some success. I heard Doug Gottlieb say on 96.7 the other day on his show that the best performance-enhancing drug is confidence. And right now the Tomcats could use a little dose of confidence.
That's very apropos on his part, no doubt about it. Right now the confidence factor needs to be worked on by Thiel. In the gun, Radke on 3rd down and 7. He stops. He throws incomplete. I think it was intended for Hervitas, but he cut the route short, or else Ryan just threw the ball too wide. And it's going to be 4th down, and the Cats are going to send in the punt team with 59 seconds remaining until halftime.
I think you're seeing some of the impact of not having senior Ronnie Howard in there. He sort of calms this wide receiver crew down and leads the way, if you will. And without him in there, there's a lot of young guys looking at each other going, what am I supposed to do? And that's that senior leadership that Ronnie brings that we're missing big time right now.
Dylan Squires kicks the ball from his 35, and it's partially blocked, I think.
It is.
Going to roll across midfield, take a Tomcat roll. Very nice roll down to the 33-yard line. Well, he came out of that in not too bad shape, considering it was blocked, and kind of hit right at midfield and squished down another 17 yards.
Martin McCoy was the guy who got his fingertips on, and then he just leveled the Tomcat punter. And now Bethany, unfortunately, with 45 seconds left to go, that's more than enough time for this offense to get down the field. So the Tomcat defense really needs to dial up a big play here, and somebody needs to step up and maybe take the ball away.
All right, the Cats out there on defense right now, and we see that Cody Wagner is in at defensive end. Big number 97, Cody from Brashear High School in Pittsburgh. And Reyes is back. He throws. He has Blinn across the 40. He tippy-toes to the 41-yard line.
This is going to be Eric Blinn time right now. He's already become the all-time leading receiver in the PAC for yards. And with that catch, he's only two receptions away from taking, or about 6, receptions away from taking it all the whole records.
He's an impressive young man. Here's Reyes' pass across the 50 to the 45, where it's caught out there by, was that Linyard or Ambush? Looks like
Ambush.
Tyler Ambush.
Yeah.
And that's another first down for Bethany. So don't tell the Bison that 32.8 seconds is not enough to get another score on the board, and I think that's their goal right here. And as you say, the Cats can't let this happen. All right, Reyes in the gun, and he's back. He pumps. He's going to air it out. Cats have this one covered, though, and it's intercepted by Thiel, intercepted by Aaron Mason, the sophomore from Phillipsburg, and he returns it across the 20 and up to about the 24-yard line. Nice job by Aaron Mason. He wasn't going to be beaten deep there.
Real nice job by Aaron Mason. I'm not sure exactly who he was throwing it to because there was nobody in a green jersey down there, but I'll tell you what, the Tomcats will take it, dodge a bullet right there, and now we can maybe take a knee and get back into the locker room and reconfigure and see how we have to change things up a little bit so we can get back in this ball game in the second half.
All right, again, stay tuned at halftime. Our guest will be R.J. Molson, the defensive line coach of the Tomcats, former Greenville Trojan standout and player at Mount Union. Has a great story to tell. In the gun is Ryan Radke. He tries to call a draw, And, man, they blew that thing up. I'll tell you, he had water buffaloes in his face like you could not believe. Actually, Bison.
Matt May came in off the edge from
made the
linebacker.
tackle. Okay.
And Ryan does that little, I'm gonna fake the pass and then do the draw, and he didn't get a chance. He faked the pass, didn't get a chance to do the draw.
Well, fortunately, the clock runs to zeros. This has been a very disastrous second quarter for Thiel, as they are now trailing in this ball game 35-3 to Bethany, and they'll go into the locker room and try to regroup. We're going to take this 3-minute break and be back with our special guest, R.J. Mawson, defensive line coach of the Thiel Tomcats. At the half, it's Bethany 35, Thiel 3 on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckley'sappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckley'sappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling at Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
Don Achenbach and Hugh Ringer at Bethany Bison Stadium on the campus of Bethany College in Bethany, West Virginia on a rainy night. It's halftime, and the temperature is about 32 degrees cooler than it was last week, which ironically and unfortunately is the same deficit the Tomcats find themselves in at halftime. Bethany leads the Thiel Tomcats 35-3 at halftime. You're listening to the game live on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Daryl Satterfield, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Bethany College, it's halftime of the Thiel Bethany Division III college football game on 790 WPIC. And as we've been doing the last couple of years, we like to take an opportunity to introduce you Tomcat fans to some of the new assistant coaches on Kurt Reiser's staff at Thiel College. And we have a new coach, but an old face, a guy who's been around here for a while and has been known in Greenville, Pennsylvania for many years. R.J. Maulson, who was a star with the Trojans 5 or 6 years ago, went to Mount Union College in Ohio and, of course, came back here to Thiel for his senior year and now is a member of the coaching staff. R.J., it's great to have you with us this evening. And, you know, you have picked three, maybe you didn't exactly pick, but you've had a chance to participate in the sport you love at three of the best schools that I think you could choose, haven't you?
Yes, thanks for having me this evening. It's lovely being here. You know, I got pretty lucky going through my career here, being able to play, like you said, at Greenville High School. I had some really, really good years there under Coach Herrick. You know, played some linebacker, running back, did a really good job there, and, you know, was blessed to carry on my career at the standout Division III college that is Mount Union. Won a national title there and finished up my career here at Thiel. Came into a pretty good program and a pretty good situation for myself coming back home, a little bit of a homecoming for me. And I had some good times here. It was very fun. Had a pretty good senior year. Not exactly the results I wanted, but, you know, came home and played some good football. The following year, obviously, you know, got a chance to stick around, had to finish up my degree. So I was a student coach. And I got very, very blessed with the ability to come on full-time here and work as a defensive line coach. So,
well, you've kind of given us a snapshot of where you've been and what you've done. Now, let's go back to Greenville High School where you played under Brian Herrick. You were definitely one of the outstanding players in Western Pennsylvania as a Trojan. What was your favorite position? Obviously, you played both ways.
Yeah. I'd have to say running back, honestly, was my favorite position. It's a little strange. I went on to play linebacker in college, but I really enjoyed running the football. And, you know, kind of Friday nights, the big thing is who scores a touchdown, so that was always enjoyable for me as a young kid.
And I'm sure you learned a great deal under Brian Herrick and owe a lot of your success to him.
Oh, for sure. I had Brian Herrick there, and obviously Coach Bob Stone was around for my first few years as well. Kind of got to see the proper way to do things and the correct way to kind of carry yourself as a person, as a player. And I do owe a lot to them on where I am today.
Now, you went on to Mount Union, which, of course, is one of the storied programs and has been for years in Division III. And you have to be a doggone good football player to even get looked at by the Purple Raiders. What was it like to play 3 years in that program, RJ?
The only word that comes to mind really is incredible. Just the preparation that goes in over there, and the mentality you have as a Purple Raider is unbelievable. You really can't describe it anywhere else. It's different than anywhere else I've ever been. You take the field over there with the feeling of invincibility, and you just know that being at Mount Union, you're going to win the football game, and that was something that was really fun to be a part of.
Have you been able to use some of those things that you saw from a program that a lot of people like to model their programs after, use it in coaching the kids here at Thiel? I'm trying to kind of bring that mentality really with me. Coming from Greenville and obviously Mount Union, I've always had that winning mentality with me. And it's something that I'd really like to see us start to instill even more and build upon here at Thiel College. So that's something I've really brought along. As well as, obviously some drills here and there from some very good coaches I've brought along with me, too. So that's always helpful to know. Now, RJ, to be perfectly honest about this whole Mount Union situation, there is a real numbers game over there, isn't there? And the competition is incredible. And, I mean, there was no numbers game like that for you in high school. But you go over there and you find out you're not going to be able to pick and choose where you play. In fact, you might end up doing a lot of special teams duty. Am I right?
Yeah. You go to Mount Union, and it's pretty similar everywhere you go to college. You come to Thiel College, you're no longer the top dog anymore. You're kind of bottom of the totem pole again. But you go to a program like Mount Union, and there's not just the best players on their team, but there's some of the best players in the country coming out of high school that go to that school. You kind of just try and fit in and use the old adage of do what you can and do what the coach asks of you. Is kind of have to approach it, and you get some really good players that get limited to just some special teams work or maybe some pickup time at the end of the game. But just in the program like that, it's kind of expected with how many kids they bring in each year.
So you spent 3 years at Mount Union, and now, if you don't mind, I'm going to get a little bit personal because I know your dad went to all your games. Your family's been tremendously supportive throughout your career. But you and your dad were coming home after your third season at Mount Union.
Yep.
And you and he had a conversation in the car. And I understand you talked about a decision that you thought you had made, and it was a big change for you. Tell us about that.
Going over there, going to Mount Union, I kind of had my heart set on it. I visited a couple schools here and there, some bigger schools, smaller schools. And it kind of felt right to me. And it was one of those schools that when I went on campus, I just had that feeling of this is where I belong. Their winning tradition obviously pulled me into it. But after 3 years of being there and kind of not really seeing much movement of myself up or down on the depth chart, I hadn't moved down, but I hadn't really hadn't seen much progression in it. I kind of had my heart set that I wanted to come home first of all. Some family stuff that was going on. I really wanted to get back home to where I'm from. And I wanted to come out and play good football. And I knew Thiel had a pretty good year the year before. I could see they were on the rise. And it's a program that's always been near to me, being from Greenville. And, we had the conversation of, hey, we're going to come home and we're going to make it work. And whatever it takes back here at Thiel, we're going to do. And we're going to put everything we have into Thiel College. And, I'd like to think that's what I've done so far by sticking around here and now trying to coach as well. I'm really taking everything I got and putting it into Thiel. So. And
obviously you did not regret your decision even a little bit, did you?
No, not at all. Not in the least. I love it here at Thiel College. And I love Greenville, PA. It's where I'm from. It's where my family's from. It's where my dad's from. So I like it here a lot.
Now, you played initially defensive end with the Tomcats, I believe, or linebacker, rather, and they switched you to defensive end. They had a hole there, and they thought, this guy is versatile enough, he can fill it. Now, that was something you were used to throughout your career, and I'm sure, being a team player, you said, absolutely, Coach, I'll play wherever you want me to.
Yeah, correct. I came in and, as you mentioned before, played all over the place in high school, and was kind of used to that. Hey, we have a hole to fill. Can you fill it for us? So coming into the year, obviously playing 3 years as a linebacker, coming in, I played the first game as linebacker, and some injuries here and some different things within the depth chart kind of occurred, and Coach Herrick came to me and asked if I would play the end, and that was the exact answer I gave him, was I'll play wherever you need me because I'm here to play. And I think it worked out pretty well for me, and I feel like I had a pretty good year that year. So.
Well, I remember you had an outstanding year, R.J., no doubt about it. We're with R.J. Molson, the Thiel College Tomcats' new defensive line coach and assistant strength and conditioning coach. R.J., I want to talk about your coaching the defensive line so far here at Thiel and some of the young men you're having the pleasure of working with. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more with R.J. Molson, one of Thiel's newest assistant coaches, on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. The Greens of Greenville. Log on to greensofgreenville.com. And Ilsko Extrusions Incorporated, one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years, and proud to support Thiel College. Log on to ilskoextrusions.com for more information. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
I'm R.J. Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back at halftime of the Thiel Bethany game on Saturday night from Bethany, West Virginia. R.J. Molson, the Thiel Tomcat defensive line assistant coach, is with us at halftime. And R.J., let's talk about your charges that you're working with here at Thiel. You have an old veteran, which you always want, and you have pretty much a bunch of young kids. Let's talk about a few of them. And we have to start with the defensive captain, a guy that everybody loves here at Thiel. He's a special guy. I'm sure he is with you, Riley Shane out of Tarentum, Pennsylvania. Talk about what a great player he is.
Riley Shane is an unbelievable player. I have a very close bond with Riley. Obviously, played next to him in the trenches my senior year. And now I've had the pleasure of being around him for another 2 years, student coaching, and now officially coaching him. And he's a different breed of person, really. He's that kid that every coach wants to have in his position. He has a motor that just doesn't quit. Very, very intelligent football player. And he brings a physicality to his position that is envied by many. And with him switching from inside to outside, that physicality is really going to make a difference for him this year.
Now, was that your decision, or was that Kurt Reiser's decision, or whose decision was it?
We kind of sat down in the spring and started looking at it, and I would say it's a little bit on everybody. Coach Reiser, Coach Herrick, a little bit of myself, not as much as you would think, and on Riley Shane as well. Riley Shane put it upon himself and changed his body. I would say, not that Riley was in a bad body last year at all, but he came into spring and he ended up the last season as a different person. And he's down. He went from 260 when I came here originally, and he's 230 now, 235, and just as physical and just as strong as he was at 260, but a ton faster. And you get a body like that and a player like that, you can't just leave him inside. He had to go outside, and it's going to pay dividends for us this year.
There's been a tradition of great defensive ends at Thiel. You remember George Kumji, one of the all-time greats, T-Square, Tim Taylor, others. Not to put any pressure on Riley, but is he in that ballpark?
I think Riley Shane could be. I think Riley Shane has all the tools necessary to be in that ballpark. Like I said, he's very intelligent. He understands what he's doing. He's very physical. He understands how to use his hands. And the biggest thing for Riley is he understands who he's going against, and he can feel things in his opponent that other kids can't. Riley Shane could definitely be a very, very valuable player to us this year.
We want to thank R.J. Molson, Thiel defensive line coach, for talking to us. Both clubs are back out on the field. I think you'll agree, Thiel fans, R.J. loves Greenville. He loves Thiel College. He loves coaching for Kurt Reiser and the Tomcats. And what a fine young man he is. I was terribly impressed on.
And just watching him over the last couple of years as he evolves into that coaching profession, I think he's going to have a nice long career for that if that's what he chooses to do.
I think he is. Well, both teams are back on the field. It is 35-3 in favor of Bethany. A tough second quarter for Thiel. Don, you have the stat sheet in hand. Before the kickoff, what jumps out at you?
Well, the second quarter was the Eric Blinn show. 30-yard touchdown pass, 5-yard run from snap from center, and a 44-yard touchdown pass. So we talked about him before the game not being able, if we had to keep him under control, we haven't been able to do it. Total offense for Bethany, 31 plays, 342, 142 yards for the Tomcats. So it looked bleak in the first half, but there's always a second half, and the Tomcats get the chance to try to stop this Bison offense right off the bat, and we'll see if they can do it.
Well, we've seen them come back many times in the past. Here's a Colin Peel's kickoff taken on a line drive and a full head of steam at the 30, and this return man gets up across the 45 to the 49-yard line, just shy of midfield.
Joseph Fiasco was the up back, caught that thing on a line drive and just churned away all the way up to the 49-yard line of Bethany. So, again, we talk about playing field position, and the Tomcats are giving up half the field on the kickoff, so they're going to have to dig in and have somebody step up and make a play.
All right, as you said, Don, Eric Blinn put on quite a show, a record-setting show. He's now the all-time leading receiver in receptions and
yardage, not receptions.
In yardage, rather, in PAC history.
Receptions are coming.
Receptions are coming, and we'll try to let you know when that happens.
Hopefully not tonight.
Well, for Thiel's sake, we certainly hope. And right out of the gate here, Bethany has made a mistake on their first play. They jumped the gun a little bit, and it cost them 5 back to the 44. So it'll be 1st and 15 to start this series. Quarterback for Bethany, and he did a great job in the first half. Lincoln Reyes, a senior, and he gives it off to Holmes, his tailback. Jalen Holmes, who had a big half, crosses the 45 as a Bison is slow to get up down on the field and gets to about the 47-yard line. And my initial identification is that is, well, I guess I don't have a number.
64.
6, I saw the 4.
64.
64, James Norcus. He is the starting center, and we'll take a timeout on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. The Greens of Greenville. Log on to greensofgreenville.com. And Ilsko Extrusions Incorporated, one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years, and proud to support Thiel College. Log on to ilskoextrusions.com for more information. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Dan Ross, running backs coach of the Tomcats. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
James Norcus, the senior offensive lineman, the center out of Salem, Ohio, across the border by Youngstown, helped off the field. So it's 2nd down and 13 after the 2-yard gain. And Reyes brings his club to the line of scrimmage, and a flag flies deep in the secondary. Now, that's delay of game. That's what you always get from back there, Don. So I think the concentration is a little bit off here for Bethany at the start of the third period, but you can almost understand why.
They're up 35-3, and this is their home opener, so perhaps they weren't listening quite as closely to their coaching staff at halftime. Be a good time for the Tomcats to take advantage of it.
All right, Reyes in the gun with 4 wides, and he's going to hand it off to Holmes, and Holmes is going to scoot, and a cat came up and made a pretty good hit. The guy I was talking to before the game, and I'll tell you, I really like this kid, the freshman out of Canton McKinley High School, the outside linebacker, Doak Walker Jr. I said, Doak, how did your dad get named Doak Walker? He said, because Doak Walker, the original Hall of Famer, was his dad's favorite football player.
There you go.
And he said, I'm proud to be Doak Walker Jr. So that's a good story. And I think one of our freshmen just jumped the gun, and it's a free play. Andrews goes and almost gets the interception, trying to cover Blinn down at the 17-yard line, but that penalty is going to be against Thiel for encroachment.
Offsides, Tomcat. Oops, yeah, offsides against the Tomcats. Sorry there. I got a little jumpy there with the long count, and fortunately this time the Tomcats played through the play. The last time they had that happen, Bethany struck deep with an Eric Blinn touchdown pass. This time the Tomcats had back in coverage, so now we're setting it up. It's going to be third and about maybe 9.
Right smack on the 50-yard line, too. Reyes in the gun, now looks over to the bench.
Tomcat defense looks a lot more aggressive in this second half. They're stunting, they're moving around, they're slapping each other in the back a little bit, see if we can get some camaraderie.
I would imagine Coach Reiser said we've got to make a positive out of this second half. Let's see if they can. Straight back is Reyes. He's going to run from pressure. Running to the left. He's got Shane after him, and Ryan says, you're not getting away from me this time. We bring these guys down in Tarentum, PA.
Good job.
Captain Riley Shane does the work. Back at the 45. It's a loss of 5, and punt formation for Bethany College.
Good job by the Tomcat defense. Set up shop right around midfield. Ends up having them punt from their own 45. Good job, Tomcats.
All right, Aaron Fry is going to stand back at the 30 and kick the football away. And dare I say, it looks like the rain has subsided.
Dinger's back in double formation. I can't see the other number.
Okay, Cody Dinger, the freshman from Girard, is back there. And the ball's going to bounce at about the 20 and take a Tomcat roll across the 25 to the 26.
All right, Tomcats set up shop in a nice exchange of field position there. See if obviously the defense had a change in scheme and shut down the Bison. Let's see if the offense can get something going now with these young freshmen and the ever-dangerous Ryan Radke. Now, we did hear that a couple of injury updates. Chris Jones is going through concussion protocols, may come back. Ronnie Howard is not going to return this afternoon.
Now, are we to assume it's a knee injury, or we don't know?
We don't know, just a lower body.
Okay. Well, our thoughts are with both young men, particularly Ronnie, who may be a little bit worse off than Jones. All right, here's the handoff to the tailback, Evan Imgren, who's driven back up the field by one of the safeties, and Imgren said, come on, that play was over 20 seconds ago. Give me a break, man.
Yeah, and that's what freshmen learn, and that's what freshmen have to learn, and he's on the receiving end of it right now, but I can guarantee you before his career as a Tomcat's over, he'll be on the dishing end of it.
All right, Imgren is the setback behind Radke, who's going to go into the gun, and we have the big blocking fullback, Zinsmeister, in the game. 2 wides for Thiel. One, of course, is Alex Hervitas. Here's the fake. Good block by one of the Tomcats to give Radke time, but he can't thread the needle on that one to his tight end, Ryan Rowland, up at the 48-yard line. Good coverage by Bethany, one of their linebackers dropping nicely. Dylan Stewart, the inside linebacker.
Good job by Imgren upsetting Devon McLean that time. He was coming in on a rush, and he just got down underneath his thigh pads and lifted him up over his shoulder. Good pickup by a freshman. That's something you don't usually see him learn until later in the year, so shows our little freshmen are a little ahead of the game.
3rd and 10 for Thiel on their own 27-yard line. Let's see what the Cats can do here. In the gun is Radke. Radke's back, looking, throwing too high. over everybody's head. Paul Jones, the intended receiver, at the 39-yard line, and looks like the Cats are going to have to punt the football unless there's a penalty.
Ryan took another shot that time.
Is
after
that
he
a
delivered
roughness
the ball.
penalty then?
It looks like it.
It is what? Yeah,
roughing
the passer on Bethany. So
that'll be on.
That'll give Thiel a first down.
Devon McClain again. That time he probably took exception to being upended that time and took his frustration out on Ryan Radke. Unfortunately, it was after the pass was thrown. So Tomcats are going to benefit from the big penalty and set the ball up over about the 42-yard line.
So that's a nice break for the Cats here with the 11:49 mark of the third period. It's 35-3 in favor of Bethany.
Right now, it's just time to get back to basics.
Yep.
Let's play good football, fundamental football. Let's do some things well, and let's get some success.
Jones, Horvitis, and Tajudin are the receivers. Here is Radke on a quarterback keep, and that was not going to go anyplace. I don't know whether it was a miscommunication and Ryan just tried to cut his losses or what, Don?
I think that's where the freshman running back sort of went the wrong way, and Ryan didn't have any choice but to go around the end, and there was nothing there, so he was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain, 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 now for the Thiel Tomcats. In case you missed the afternoon scores today, a big upset, at least we think it is. St. Vincent at home defeats Waynesburg by a score of 28-21. And our next week opponent, Thomas More, just blew out Hanover by a score of 84-7. Here is Radke with a flag flying, throwing to Jones, and Jones has it at the is that Horvitis at
nice
the 30?
Job. Jumped off. Bethany jumped offside. They were in Ryan's grill, and he just threw the straight fly pattern. Horvitis ran under the ball. Big time play.
Beautiful job by Alex Horvitis from Lancaster. How about that? Radke from Lancaster, New York, different school.
Yep.
Throwing to Horvitis from Lancaster, New York.
Yeah, they knew each other, I'm sure.
It's the Lancaster connection, and it goes for how many yards? Down to the 30.
It's it looks like about a 25, 30-yard game.
30 yards. Good job by Ryan Radke.
Stop asking me those things. Math wasn't my major.
Well, I know.
I'm happy they made the play. Ryan did a heck of a job standing in there because he took another shot, but he put the ball right on the money. Tomcats got a nice little drive going.
Horvitis to the left, joined by Tajudin down at this side, and Paul Jones wide to the right in the gun with a sidecar is Radke on 1st and 10 at the 30 of Bethany. Here's the snap. He's back. Quarterback draw. He's loose at the 30, the 25, the 20, and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, or not quite to the 15. They say to the 16-yard line, but a good run nonetheless by the agile quarterback, the junior of Thiel College, Ryan Radke.
Enough to move the change. Ryan, that time, that was a design play. But instead of going up the middle like we've seen Ryan do so many times over the last year and a half, this one was designed to go outside, and he picked up a nice block by his wide receiver, Horvitis.
Well, Horvitis goes to the right. Paul Jones to the left, and Tajudin is staying in the lineup in the slot with a sidecar. Radke in the gun. No blitz being indicated here. Now last minute a little bit, but they're going with a straight rush, and he gets away from the initial rush. He gets away. He's going to cut outside. He gets a little forward lean thanks to a defender coming from behind. He's inside the 10 at the 7 of Bethany.
Vintage Ryan Radke. There was nothing there. He looked like he was going down, did that little dipsy-do that he loves to do, got those quick feet moving, and turned what should have been about a 2-yard loss into a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1 for the Tomcats.
Okay, let's see if they can get this 1st and goal as they're well in the red zone here, trying to get the initial score of period number 3 in this football game. Jones left. Horvitis right. Single setback behind Radke, who's going to go under Rashawn Nevins at center. And he's going to give it off to his tailback. And Daly with that football inside the 5 down to about the 4-yard line.
Picks up the first down, though, Hugh, and moves the change. Now we set up the 1st and goal.
All right. Nice little run by Kevin Daly out of Oil City High School. He was a 1,000-yard rusher for the Oilers his senior year, and he is a transfer to Thiel from, now I've got to get this straight, I think Cal PA. Am I right?
I think you're right.
Okay. All right, Jones to the right, who's a transfer from Cal PA.
We like the Cal PA transfer.
Yeah, we'll take him. That's quite a program. And Horvitis is wide left. Here's Radke, two-step drop. He's throwing the fade for Jones, threw it over the wrong shoulder, and Jones was covered well anyway, incomplete.
Now we have a flag down here. Looks like some tempers were flaring, and see who they're going there. Gary Heiner is not happy, so let's see what we got here.
Well, let's see.
Going to be unsportsmanlike against both teams.
Unsportsmanlike, both teams. Well,
yeah, okay.
Heiner probably had something untoward done unto him, and he was none too joyous about it, as you can understand.
Actually comes out to be a break for the Tomcats.
Yeah.
It's going to make it first down again.
Yeah, it does. Let's go back and do it again. First and goal at the 4.
Okay, Tomcats, we need to buckle down and get this thing in the end zone, get this thing back into a little bit of...
Horvitis to the right. Paul Jones left. Tajudin is in the slot to the left.
Referees are still trying to decide what down it is.
Well, I liked your idea. First down.
And we were correct. Nope, now it's second down again. Somebody ought to make up their mind. Apparently they called the penalty after the play was over.
All right, let's see what the Cats do here. At the 4. Radke in the gun. He's going to roll left. He has time. He has open space. Now he doesn't. He's going to throw to a wide-open receiver, and that's going to be a penalty. Tajudin made the catch back in the back of the end zone, held on, took the whack, and gets 15 on the kickoff.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Bethany's losing their poise a little bit.
They are,
here.
Because that's a touchdown as soon as he comes down with a ball. Absolutely no reason to even try to knock it out of his hands. Okay, great job by Ryan. He could see nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, but all of a sudden he sees the little Tajudin breaking loose at 5'7", 155, a sophomore out of Brashear High School in Pittsburgh. And he said, I'm going to get the ball to that little fella because he's going to catch it.
I'll tell you what, it was nice vision by Ryan looking, surveying the field. He was running away and actually came back. Tajudin did a real nice job working his way back into the back of the end zone. And sometimes with Ryan's running ability, that the defensive backs will maybe lose sight of some of these little wide receivers that Tomcats have. And Adam sort of found a little hole, sat down in it. Ryan found him, put the ball right on the money. Wow.
Ooh. All right, they are going to indicate the penalty will be, what, against Thiel?
No, I think they're saying they're going to put it on the...
Personal foul on Bethany.
Talking about whether or not they're going to have it on the kickoff.
All right, as they talk, how about this, Mr.
Well, it looks
Achenbach?
like a holding call on Thiel.
Yeah,
maybe.
I thought they called a penalty on Thiel.
So that means the touchdown's off the boards then?
Oh, really? Well, they're still talking this thing over. Kurt Reiser halfway out on the field. It's against Thiel, but there's clearly a penalty on Bethany. Unsportsmanlike, there it is.
But that means the touchdown comes off the board.
Oh, my. Okay, well.
And it stays second and...
Well, it still says
35-9
on the scoreboard, but let's see here for sure. They haven't taken the points off the board at the 8:59 mark. Well, they're trying to get this thing lined up, and before I forget what I was just told by the outstanding sports information director here at Bethany, Jared Plate, former Thiel guy, I might add. Third quarter, Westminster 16, W&J 14. Can you believe it, Achenbach?
I don't believe it. But Jared said it so, and he would not lie to us.
Number 14 team in America might lose tonight? That can't be.
Well, they took the points off, I think.
They did. All right, and Radke, that still says 9. I don't know. It says 9. Are the points off or on? Radke's in the gun. The ball's down at the 6-yard line. He's getting a rush. He throws, and Paul Jones makes the catch. Now, is it a touchdown or a 2-point conversion?
It's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown? All right, so you can leave the 9 up there, I guess. And you bring Colin Peel in to try the extra point. Is that right?
Yeah, we got the same. The only thing that's not happy about it is Tajudin, because he didn't get the touchdown.
Yeah.
And he got drilled.
He did. He took the penalty for the team, but he didn't get the ball fumbled by Schaefer. Pat's going to pick it up and throw, and it's no good. He had the right ID, and he had a tight end out there, but Moore couldn't get to the ball. So, and it is our holder hurt a little bit? I think the backup quarterback Pat Schaefer, injured as he goes off after throwing the ball. Time out of the field. It is now Bethany 35, Thiel 9 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture. Proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
You are listening to News Talk 790 WPIC, Sharon Hermitage, a Cumulus station sponsored by the Ridgewood at Shenango Valley, a premier senior living residence.
I'm Matt Achenbach, special teams coordinator and defensive backs coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Well, we thought Adam Tajudin had the touchdown in the end zone. He got the penalty called against Bethany, but it was wiped out by a hold. But, hey, Ryan Radke came back and threw a 9-yard touchdown to Paul Jones. The snap was not held. The pass was no good, and it is 35-9, Bethany leading Thiel third quarter. And the pooch kick comes down to about the 30, and it's fallen on by one of the Bethany Bison at about the 33-yard line. So it'll be Bison football, 1st and 10. As the Cats get the touchdown, the first of the night for Thiel. Here's the snap to the quarterback, and Reyes is running around, but Mr. Jeremy Steffine, the freshman from Monaca, Pennsylvania, says, you're not going anywhere on my side. You might try Riley's the next time with less luck.
Nick Ravito also on a stop that time, and I'll tell you what, there's a different sense of purpose for this Tomcat defense right now.
Yep, they're playing much better. Well, Kurt Reiser has a way of doing that in the face of adversity, and that's the sign of a very good coach. All right, Reyes back, going to throw the out to guess who, Blinn, and Blinn has the catch across the 40 to the 42, where he is run out of bounds by Doak Walker Jr. and Steffine.
Well, I'll tell you what, for a relatively small wide receiver, he is a tough kid. He just dragged 2 Tomcats for about another 2 or 3 yards, sets up a 3rd and 1.
And he loves to hit on special teams, too. Here's the give to Holmes, and Holmes dances. He's in the open, 45-40, 35-30. Can he outrun the Cats? He's inside the 20, inside the 10, the 5, and the touchdown. My goodness, he went right, he stopped, he went left, he stopped, he went right, and he outran everybody. He is quite a little back, that jitterbug. And, Dawn, how far was that run?
58 yards.
58 yards for the tailback Holmes. My goodness. What speed and elusiveness. Jalen Holmes from Newcastle High School. All right, Ray is in to try the extra point. Blinn will hold. And just like that, Bethany has answered. Kick is up. Kick is good. The score now is Bethany leading the Thiel Tomcats 42-9 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
After the Tomcats have a nice drive to get a touchdown of their own, Jalen Holmes comes back, 58-yard catch and run, and my goodness, what a play he made. And the kickoff is going to be taken by Thiel, and moving the ball across the 20 up to about the 22-yard line is the Tomcat ball carrier, and that looks like that was Tanner Lucido. Is that right?
That's correct, and Bethany's going to have another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against them as they, again, took down another Tomcat after the play was over.
Well, by the way, Tanner Lucido, we haven't mentioned his name yet this season, is a freshman linebacker out of Grove City High School.
Why are they walking it back against Thiel?
I don't know. Well,
no, they got it turned around.
They're going to get it right, I think. 7:48, third quarter. A reminder, folks, we will make the long 7.5-hour trek, if Mr. Achenbach drives fast enough, down to Crestview Hills, Kentucky next week for the Thiel Thomas More game. Kickoff is 1 o'clock from Thomas More, and you'll hear it live with the pregame show beginning at 12:30 p.m. on News Talk 790 WPIC. Well, they are marching this off against Thiel. They're taking it back to the 10-yard line. Now, what was going on there?
I don't know. Coach Reiser's asking for an explanation, too, because it was clearly a shot against one of the Tomcat players, but apparently somebody retaliated, and, they always catch the second guy. They don't catch the first guy, so the Tomcats are in a bit of a hole now at the 10-yard line, 11-yard line.
They're going to come out with Roland Tight at left end and two wides in the ball game, and Radke is going to be under center. We believe that Imgren might be the tailback. We'll try to confirm that here. Straight back is Radke, gets away, doing a Houdini act, pumps, doesn't throw, and runs out of bounds across the 15 or 16-yard line.
Nice little pickup by the Tomcats that time. The quarterback, Ryan Radke, just basically running for his life that time as the Bethany Bison brought an all-out jailhouse break, picked up about 6 yards, it looks like.
Got 6 yards in the play, 2nd and 4.
That's one we could have very easily lost about 5 or 6.
Yeah. If you're just joining our broadcast, Ronnie Howard got off to a fine start in this ball game with several very impressive catches, and then trying to stretch out for extra yardage down at about the 10-yard line on a drive. He left with a leg injury and will not return, and our thoughts are with the captain of the Thiel offense, Ronnie Howard. Here's the pass to the outside intended for Paul Jones up at about the 28-yard line, incomplete. So Thiel will face a 3rd and 4, Don.
And Bethany right now isn't even worried about the run. They're just pinning their ears back, and they're going to see how many times they can try to sack Ryan Radke tonight. And Ryan's on his back foot again, trying to get something downfield. But Tomcat offensive line going to have to step up just a little bit, pick up some of those guys blitzing.
All right. Barbados is wide right. It looks like Rob Thompson is in the slot to the right. To Juden and Paul Jones down here to the left, and straight back Radke. Radke going to step up, buy time, going to throw. He's got his receiver up across the 30 on a nice gain, and it was caught by Rob Thompson.
Nice job by Rob. Nice pattern he came across. Ryan was waiting. The crush was coming. Hung in there. Rob found the hole, got the first down.
All right. So 1st and 10 for Thiel at the 7:25 mark of the third period, trailing 42-8. To this outstanding Bethany team, which is in the first half put on a real show here. And a little bit of a snapshot of what we saw in the first half a little bit ago from Mr. Holmes. All right, 1st and 10. The ball is on the 33-yard line, and Ryan Radke is going to be in the gun with a sidecar and 4 wides. The snap is high. He picks it up on a bounce. He runs to the right. He's going to throw left-handed and throws it to one of his teammates over on the sideline. And really manages to salvage respect on the play, which could have been a disaster.
Yeah, he did a nice job staying with the ball and not panicking, but what would you expect? He's the leader of this team. He's the face of the franchise, as they'd say, and did a nice job keeping his cool and managed to get the ball out of bounds, so it turned what could have been a disastrous loss into a no gain.
2nd and 10 for Thiel at the 28-yard line. Radke will be in the gun now on 2nd down. Looks over the defense. Drops back. Throws over the middle. He's got Horvadas across the
Nice
40
job.
to the 42. And, I think we're seeing a coming out party for Alex Horvadas here tonight, Don Achenbach. This young man, it looks like a very promising, developing receiver. He's a junior. He got a lot of experience last year, and I think he's showing some savvy here tonight.
That time the Tomcats know the Bison are coming, so they just waited. Alex waited a half a beat or so, and he just flushed into the area that the linebackers had left, and Ryan found him for a nice gain.
To Juden back in the game. He's in the slot to the right. Radke in the gun. He's back. Oh, he's got a rush here, and he gets rid of it. And the ball's caught up around the 40, and falling forward to about the 42 is the receiver who stumbles a little bit getting up. And was that the running back?
Yeah, he set up a nice little screen pass over there for Kevin Daly.
Yeah, Daly.
And unfortunately, Ryan had to throw the ball a little sooner than he was ready, so it hadn't developed completely, and he didn't have his escort out in front of him, if you will, and Bethany sort of came in and blew it up.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd and 8 now for Thiel as the clock runs to 6 minutes, third quarter. Trips in the wide receiver department to the left for Thiel on 2nd down and 8. Radke in the gun, empty set, going to call the quarterback draw, but the linebacker stays home and says, you're not going to go anywhere, Mr. Radke. In fact, I'm going to stop you for no gain.
And what you're going to see now is they're going to bring everybody but one person, and that time it was Campbell, who was a spy that time and just stayed at the line of scrimmage waiting for Ryan to do what Ryan likes to do, and I think we're going to have to dial up something else from Coach Satterfield's playbook.
3rd and 7 for Thiel. Ball on the 42.5-yard line. 4 wides in there for Radke, who's in the gun. No blitz this time. 4-man rush, flag flies. Here's Radke rolling right, going to throw on a run. He's got his receiver. Looks like Thompson.
Dropped it.
He dropped the ball. Thompson dropped it over by the Thiel bench.
See if maybe Bethany was offside that time.
Well, we will find out from referee James Lipscomb. Yep, offside.
Looked like he got a little bit of a jump on the left defensive end coming in that time, and they flagged him on it, so that's a big help for the Tomcats. Moves it up, plus they get the down over again.
By the way, in baseball today, Dawn, the Pirates continue to lead 6-0 in the 6th inning over Milwaukee, and if I'm reading my iPhone right, St. Louis lost a doubleheader today.
Doubleheader is the makeup or the finish of the game last night and then the second game today.
Are we looking at a 2.5-game deficit maybe at the end of the night? Wouldn't that be something? Radke in the gun on 3rd and 3. He's back. He's got a rush. He unloads. He's got a receiver, and flags are flying. There's laundry all over the field. And Paul Jones was in a mismatch over there with the cornerback.
Tyreek Darby.
Tyreek Darby said, man, this is no fun covering this big guy.
Tried to undress him, had his jersey about halfway off. And all referees on the field, everybody threw their flag at the same time, so you could see it. He stretched that 8-1 and almost made it a 9, I guess, because he was just pulling on his jersey so tight.
Well, penalty's going to take it down to the Bethany 42-yard line.
Bethany's playing a little sloppy there again, and I imagine their coaching staff's not real happy right now with the way the second half's going. They had one big play for a big run, but even he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. He just broke a couple of tackles. And the Tomcats, again, we got to just play basic football. Let's learn from it. Let's get better, and let's get ready.
All right, 4-wide formation for Thiel on 1st and 10 from the 42 of Bethany. Back is Radke, quarterback draw, but he is stopped right there in the hole. And that linebacker, again, did a great job. Looked like Jamie Summers?
No, it's number 98.
98, okay. Dalen Jones.
And again, they're spying on Ryan now. They're signing everybody, and they're keeping one guy back at the line of scrimmage. And that time it was McLean, and he zeroed in and took him down.
Well, we see a lot of that, Don.
Well, you're going to see that until they come up with another weapon, and we have them. We just got to we're in such a hole right now. We can't pull out the game plan that we hope to run.
All right, here's the give, and with that football is Imgrund, I believe.
Yeah.
Crosses the 45 of Bethany down to the 43-yard line.
Time for the Tomcats now. They're about 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 maybe. try to, it's going to be 2-down territory, so let's see if we can pick up half of it with maybe a little out or something, and then maybe, I still think the way these guys are pursuing and the way they're rushing, maybe some type of a screen pass or a draw would maybe catch them in the middle of it.
All right, in the gun, Radke again with 4 wides. He needs 12 yards. High snap, but he gets it. He's back. He throws. The pass is incomplete. Was that deflected by somebody? No.
Horvitis pulled up short on it because he saw a lot of green jerseys in there, and Ryan didn't read the same thing. We do have another penalty.
Yeah, it's in the Thiel backfield, so that's not good. Personal foul.
Face mask.
Face mask. It is good. It's on Bethany.
Yeah, they one of those where I got my hand underneath your face mask and push your helmet up, and they don't seem to like that anymore. When I played, they did that to tight ends all the time, but that's why my nose looks like it does.
All right, they'll march it down inside the 35, the 30, and down to about the 28. And that's going to be enough for a Cat first down. So
again, Bethany coaching staff's got to be a little unhappy. Here it was that would have made it 4th and 12. Instead, the Tomcats are set up for a first down.
Well, and this is all a product of a big halftime lead.
Sure.
People will let up when they think they have the horse out of the barn. All right, Radke in the gun. 3 wides this time and a setback. He's back. He's running around. He's getting away. He's getting yardage. They track him down from behind before he gets to the 20, but he has positive yardage down to about the 22 of Bethany.
Boy, and he is such an athletic quarterback. He is so quick. Those feet just keep going, and you think, boy, there's just nothing there. And the next thing you know, he squeezes through.
And he's such a tough kid. And, you know, when you looked at him after the game last week when he had that bloody face and everything, his face looked like he'd been in a 10-round heavyweight fight. I said to Nate down in the field, let me see that face. I said, you have nary a scratch here, Radke. He said, I have amazing recuperative powers. All right, Radke is in the gun.
To be young.
Oh, isn't it? Young and very confident. He's back to pass. He has all day. He looks. He throws. Oh, almost intercepted. Boy, reading that beautifully for Bethany was their safety, Dion Williams, the senior all-star who came up and kind of rode the back of a Tomcat receiver, but he was going for the football, and that was a heck of a play, but it fell incomplete.
And that's a case where you saw the youth of the Tomcats wide receiver core and the inexperience. Ryan was coming free, and he had a lot of time. For the first time, there wasn't a lot of rush. And instead of coming back when they saw Ryan on the run, they didn't come back toward Ryan. They just sort of sat down and allowed the green jerseys to surround them, and Ryan had no choice but to throw it into traffic.
You have to help your quarterback when he's under duress. All right, high snap again, but Radke gets it and throws the out. He's got Horvitis. Horvitis says to a Cat, get out of my way. And he does and blocks a little bit and gets it inside the 10 down to about the 6. That was Horvitis, right?
Yes, it was. It was a great play. And I'm going to tell you something, Hugh. From a guy who was not able to catch and run the ball like that, that was just an incredible move. He was running and out. He caught the pass and turned back inside. That, folks, is not easy to do.
No, it's not.
And what he did was the guy who was covering him went right out of bounds, and Alex had another 5 or 6 yards. Great job, Alex Horvitis.
Yes, it was. He's had a real good football game here tonight.
He's going to have to with Ronnie Howard on the shelf for who knows how long. He's got to step up and be the leader of these young receivers. There's so much talent out there, but they just are so green.
High formation behind Radke on first down. Play fake. He's back. He throws. He's got Paul Jones for a touchdown right across the goal line. Is that his second touchdown of the night?
Second one in a row.
Paul Jones. What about a 12-yard pass from Ryan Radke, who is definitely throwing the ball better this year, Don.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Some zip on it, but he also has some nice targets out there.
Yes, he does. And Paul Jones slid around, got that big body in there, and Colin Peel is in, and that's a new holder out there for Thiel. The ball's down, the kick is up, the kick edges itself over the crossbar, and the kick is good. And I would assume that holder...
No, it's Pat Schaefer.
Was it Pat Schaefer? Good. Glad to see the young man's okay.
Yeah, I think
time out on the field. It's Thiel trailing right now the Bethany Bison 42-16 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Daryl Satterfield, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Paul Jones' second touchdown of the night has put the Tomcats on the board again, and Colin Peel's kick is taken up short by one of the up men, Jonathan Woodbury, a freshman. At least I think that's the right number.
Yeah, number 35.
Oh, 35.
Yeah.
Okay. 35 took that.
Yeah.
And didn't go very far at about the 32.
Instead of running straight up the field, he tried to cut back across the field, and that's unfortunately for him and unfortunately for the Cats. That's where all the white jerseys were.
Well,
didn't run back many kicks, but I think the object is to stay away from the white jerseys.
Yes. All right, so the Bethany Bison come out now with the football at the 32-yard line, and Lincoln Reyes, who's gone all the way at quarterback, is going to hand it off, and it looks like we now have Antonio Hanna in the game, and the Cats have him right at about the 32.5-yard line. Good job by the left side of that Thiel defense, Don.
Tomcat defense is playing with a bigger sense of purpose. I know I've said that a couple times, but they got a little bit of swagger back that they had last week. And these young kids, I mean, they're going to have to learn, and I think they're learning on the job tonight.
Well, there are 14 freshmen by my last count that are listed on the two-deep depth chart, so that's a pretty hefty number, especially against a veteran team like Bethany.
But boy, are they athletic, Hugh.
Yes, they really are. There's a lot of promise here. Just keep them in the program. That's what you got to do. It's called retention.
Keep them healthy.
All right, Reyes is back, going to throw the flanker screen to Blinn. Blinn is in a kitchen and gets away and gets positive yardage. There must have been 6 Cats who had him surrounded, and he just kept spinning and twisting and churning. And my goodness, what did he get? He got 2 yards, but
he should have lost 7.
That's the best 2 you're ever going to get.
I don't know what his career aspirations are, but I'm thinking cat burglar might be up there.
Well,
he is quick.
He is quick. He's a pretty doggone good football player, no doubt about it. Okay, 4 receivers are in the game now for Bethany, and Reyes is in the gun on 3rd down and a bunch. 3rd and about 12. He's back. No pressure. Unloads to the Thiel bench, way over the head of Blinn, and that's 3 and out for Bethany.
Good job, Tomcat D.
The Cats are hesitate a little bit here, but I think they're outplaying this team in the second half.
They're certainly outplaying them in the second half.
Yes,
unfortunately,
they are.
like we say, you have to play both halves.
Well, you do.
In this one, it was the second quarter that got the Tomcats, the Eric Blinn show, where he scored 3 touchdowns. But the Tomcats have come out in the second half with a little bit better effort.
No doubt about it. Aaron Fry will stand back at about the 20.
Watch the fake.
Watch the fake. He's going to kick it away, end over end. It's going to bounce. Let's see if the Cat return man picks it up and falls down, but he didn't. He could see the on-rushing.
Yep. That was a good call.
Yeah, good call. And
good job by that
Imgren.
was
no, that was Daly.
Kevin Daly. But folks, we apologize. We're going to get these guys confused because they are like 1 and 1A, and they're same size, same shape, same ability, and that time he did a nice job. He picked up the ball, went right to the ground because he knew there was a rush coming, but at least he didn't let the ball go past him and roll in down to the 5-yard line or something. Tomcats set up shop on the 26.
And this will be the last play of the quarter, 5.3 seconds remaining. The Cats are going to line up in an I, and will they run the football here knowing the clock's going to stop? Yes, and they're going to give it off to Daly, and Daly's going to get up to about the 30, and he attracts a passel of people there as the horn sounds ending the 3rd period. It was a good period for Thiel. They outscored Bethany, but the score after 3 which is what really counts. It's the Bison 42, the Tomcats 16. Fourth quarter coming up on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and CompDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
All right, Hugh Ringer back with Don Achenbach from Bison Stadium. 3 quarters are in the books. One more to go on a wet night in West Virginia, but at least I don't think it's raining right now.
No, it looks like it's clear.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a beautiful drive home.
Oh, we like beautiful drives home. It would be nicer if the Tomcats get about 3 touchdowns in this quarter.
All right, when play resumes, the Cats are going to have the football for the final 15 minutes here to start her off, and they come right up to the line of scrimmage. Paul Jones, the wideout, who's had another good night tonight for Thiel, is wide to the right. Ryan Radke, who's had his hands in everything offensively for Thiel, is in the gun with a sidecar.
Thanks.
On 1st and 10. Takes the snap, gives it off to the tailback, and running with that football and getting yardage across the 40 up to about the 41-yard line.
That's Evan Ingram.
Is Evan Imgrund. Evan Imgrund, the outstanding young freshman back, transfer from Claysburg Kimmel High School in Claysburg, PA.
It gives Ingram about 35, 36 yards for the night.
Against a tough defense to run on. An ultra-athletic defense. Jones and Horvitis go wide left. In the gun again is Radke. Tajuden is in the wing to the left. Snap, fake, pass, flanker screen to Jones. He gets away. How'd he get yardage there, Don?
I think
he caught that, and there's flags over by the other bench.
Yep.
And I think maybe that's a late hit, isn't it?
Yes, it is, out of bounds. And I'll tell you what, I think we have our own Eric Blinn. Boy, he should have been stopped in the backfield.
Yeah,
he just turned on another gear and just pulled up. And
I was about ready to say, this play's going nowhere.
But boy,
and it went somewhere for 8 yards.
Lots of flags being thrown back over from the Tomcat bench. I think every referee over there threw it, so somebody must have done something.
Yep, late hit.
Well, I'll tell you, that's like the fourth late hit against Bethany.
Yeah, the discipline is a bit questionable here for Bethany, and I'll tell you what, they have a world of talent, but if they get up against a Thomas More or a W&J
or a Westminster,
or maybe a Westminster, or maybe a St. Vincent, they could be in trouble because there'll be teams that are going to be disciplined, and that could be the
Thomas More doesn't make
factor.
any mistakes. They don't play Thomas More, so they don't have to worry about it.
Oh, that's right, they don't. Boy, what a break that is. Okay, Radke in the gun. After the penalty, ball down on the 38-yard line of Bethany. Here's the pass to Jones, trying to fight his way around, and there's the flag. Jones was trying to fight his way to get to the ball, and the defender over there is saying, what the heck do you want me to do? I was trying to defend, and Antonio Dawkins said, what am I supposed to do? But I think it looked like the right call.
Yeah, you're allowed to fight, but you're not allowed to grab his arm and grab his jersey and keep him from getting the ball. And I'll tell you what, this kid is going to be a threat.
Well, the thing is, he's a big, strong kid.
Well, he's a big kid. He gets position, and then they can't go around him. They can't go over him. They have to go through him, and when they go through him, it's a 15-yard penalty, and that's the second or third one that's come tonight. I'll tell you what, that's got to be. I'm looking. That's the second big penalty in a row. I'm looking at the third quarter stats for penalties, and let's see, that's 13 for 111 at the end of the third quarter, so there's another 26. So they're up over. I mean, they've got 400 yards in total offense and about 150 in penalties.
And if you haven't seen Paul Jones, folks, he's all of 6'2", weighs 190. He's the biggest receiver on the field tonight amongst wideouts. He's just a weapon. Here is Radke back. He's going to look. He's going to run. He's going to get hit. He's going to go down inside the 30 at about the 26. Now, get up, Ryan.
they're definitely spying on him, Hugh. They've got
no doubt.
They're bringing everybody but one person, and that guy's staying right behind the line of scrimmage, waiting for him to break through. And he hasn't had a whole lot of success up the middle in the second half, where he's had some success. He's up almost to 100 yards, but with the sacks, he'll be less than that for the night. But he's had his success when he puts the pressure on the corner, and I've always said that's where Ryan Radke's at his best. Get him out on the edge where he can either pass or throw and just cause cornerbacks a whole kind of heartburn.
Thompson, Horvitis, and Jones, the wideouts. And this time, what happened there?
No, it's an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass picked up by one of the defenders, and picking that up was Antonio Dawkins.
Yeah, nice try.
And nice try, but it didn't work. Radke started chasing him, but
you got to chase him. You never know. So till you hear the whistle, you keep chasing because you don't know what happened.
Right.
But that one was just an incomplete pass. Going to set up 3rd and long for the Tomcats. Boy, they've had such a couple of 3 or 4 nice drives the second half. Hate to see it stall here. Let's see if we can find Mr. Jones in the corner somewhere.
All right, Horvitis, Thompson, and Jones are your wideouts.
Let's give him some timeline.
Radke in the gun. On 3rd down, he's back. He pumps, and he's not going to get out of there. He's sacked back at the 32-yard line.
Yeah. He pump faked, and with this aggressive defense, you really don't have time to do that.
And with the big lead, they can pin their ears back and come after him.
Yeah, so you got to go with your first instinct and just get the ball out of there.
All right, so that sets up a 4th and long. It looks like about a 4th and 17 or 18. Looks like 18 yards. 4th and 18 for Thiel.
Westminster's up 24-14 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Westminster by 10 late third quarter over W&J, the 14th ranked team in America. Straight back Radke. He gets it away. He's got the completion.
Too short.
And it's going to be short of the first down. Down inside the 20.
Again, we're looking for
about the 18.
We're looking for positives here. And that time he stepped up in the pocket. He found his receiver, Horvitis, and got the ball down there. Unfortunately, on 4th down in such a long, he didn't quite make the marker, but did move the ball down the field a little bit, so it gives the Tomcat defense maybe a chance to pin him down here and change the field position.
Bethany 42, Thiel 16 here at the 12-12 mark of the 4th period. Again, a reminder, next week the Cats are at Thomas More down in Crestview Hills, Kentucky.
And what did the Saints do today, Hugh?
The Saints came out with the narrow victory.
Yeah, they just squeaked by.
They squeaked by Hanover 84-7 in Kentucky.
I think Bethany's good, folks. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, that's right. All right, here is Reyes. And Reyes hands it off, and the Cats slow him down, but the runner gets outside. Was that Holmes? And
yeah, it was again. They had him pinned in again once in a while. Again, the Tomcats just aren't wrapping as tightly as they'd like to.
Well, they're not used to this kind of speed and elusiveness.
Well,
I think that's a factor. But yeah, I think there'll probably be some tackling drills that'll be added to the repertoire in Thiel practice this week.
I think that's part of what's wrong with football right now is they don't practice that anymore.
Well, I think you're probably right, and that's due to the fact that you're not allowed to hit as much. Not plain and simple.
Yeah, it is.
You know, you want to put the emphasis on cutting down on injuries, which is noble, but you're also taking away from, football as it's known to be played. Here's the pass to Blinn, and Blinn is shaking and baking and running into a whole passel of Thiel Tomcats up at around the 24-yard line where he goes down and gets maybe about 4 yards on the play, I would say, setting up a 3rd and a long 3.
He is a senior who has been doing this for a long time. We have Paul Jones, who's a freshman, who's going to be that good someday, folks. And we're seeing what Paul Jones could become.
Well, the thing about Blinn is he is not only an excellent player, but he's a very smart player who does it all. He has the physicality, the finesse, and you hope that Paul Jones can develop that kind of thing over the course of years.
From what we've seen from Paul so far, he's got good football sense. So
Reyes is back, and he's throwing to Blinn.
Now they're just
up
trying
across
to get him the
30, out to about the 32-yard line, and Trey Andrews, the little cornerback, came over. And I say little because Trey Andrews has to be classified as a bit of a smurf. He is 5'7", 175 from Greater Johnstown High School. All right, it is 1st and 10 after that completion to Blinn. And it's a check with me out on the field by the quarterback, Reyes. Reyes is going to give it off to Holmes, and he finds a crease outside and cuts it down the sideline to midfield. Boy, he can get to midfield before you know what hit you. He really can scoot.
Boy, he just sort of hides behind the big offensive lineman, and the next thing you know, he's 10 yards downfield.
Does he look a little bit like Dion Lewis, the way he runs?
A little bit.
Little bit. All right, ball's at midfield, 1st and 10 for Bethany.
He's solid, that's for sure.
Yes, he's solid.
If he ever grows into those thighs, he'll be 6'8".
I'm not counting on that. Now the Cats switch around on defense and get caught in the middle on that, and they give it off to the little tailback Holmes, and he's across the 45 to the 44 for 6 yards. Make it 2nd and 4.
I think we're going to see a big dose of Holmes up the middle. We're going to see whenever they need something on 3rd down, they'll go to Blinn because they really would like to see him become the all-time PAC leader in reception.
How many does he need still? Do we know? Ed Tompoleski is counting. He's holding up 6 fingers.
He's already got the record for yardage tonight for his career, and now he's
there. It is. There's one to Blinn, and he catches it in the backfield and carries it across the 40, and he laid a Tomcat low a little bit there, didn't he?
No, I think it was the other way around. I think Bethany was asking for a penalty.
Oh,
get one.
Well, they all yelled in unison. I thought maybe he.
Well, he's been delivering blows.
I couldn't see Trey Andrews. I thought maybe he's the
one that
put him into the bench or something.
He's the one that took Chris Jones out with that hit on the touchdown run.
Yeah, the Cats lost their outstanding corner, Chris Jones, with maybe concussion tests. Here's the give to the backup tailback who's in the game, Antonio Hanna, and he's spun around by one of the Tomcats for no gain on the play. And that was Jake Elk, I believe, who did the tackling.
We've now been told that Blinn only needs 3 catches.
3.
To break the all-time PAC record, and I hope he does it next week.
That's all right, Ed Tompoleski. You have better math skills than I do. All right, 2nd and 11 for Reyes and the Bethany offense. He's back on a play. Oh, he's got Blinn open. 15-10-5 touchdown. Blinn said, enough of this short stuff. Get the ball to me. I'm going to take it to the house. If I don't get 2 more receptions after this, there's always next week. And, boy, I'll tell you, he did an inside move on one of the Cats that kind of left some laundry back at about the 20-yard line. And that was no contest. What a move by the scintillating Eric Blinn, the wideout for Bethany. All right, in to try the extra point here is Nick Holmes, and the kick is up. The kick is good. Timeout on the field. Bethany has extended its lead, and I don't believe that score.
I wish it was that score.
I'd like that score.
49-16.
49-16. It says 7-16, but there we go. Bethany 49, Thiel 16 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Matt Achenbach, Special Teams Coordinator and Defensive Backs Coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Eric Blinn, a 41-yard catch and run from quarterback Reyes. Extra point good. It is 49-16. Bethany over Thiel, and the kickoff is going to be taken by Paul Jones, who is spun around rather rudely before he gets to the 20-yard line. He's spun around at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Final score from Akron tonight. The Pitt Panthers come back in the second half and beat the Akron Zips 24-12 over in the I assume the Rubber Bowl, if they still call it that?
I think they do.
Okay, so Pitt goes to 2-0 on the year, and then they're going to start playing some big boys here pretty soon, I think. All right, Tomcats come right to the huddle, or right to the line of scrimmage, rather, on first down with Paul Jones wide right and Horvitis to the left. Radke, who's going the whole way, is under center with an eye behind him. He's going to give that off to Imgren, and Imgren maybe gets to the 15 or 15 and a half, and that's going to be about it.
Pat Schaefer's in a quarterback here.
Oh, is Pat Schaefer in a quarterback? Well, then Ryan Radke's day is done. He's probably a tired young man tonight, but he'll get right back up and want to throw passes tomorrow. That's for sure.
He's probably not real happy about not being out there throwing them now.
Yeah, he probably is. All right.
Eric Blinn has 12 catches for 185 yards.
Wow, what a show here tonight.
And a rushing touchdown.
And a rushing touchdown. Tajuden to the right. Horvitis to the left. And Pat Schaefer is back. He's going to throw it out here for Zinsmeister, the fullback, but he can't get to the football at the 15. So the incomplete pass makes it third down and 11. I guess Imgren must have lost a yard on first down.
Not very hard to do tonight.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
all right.
Bethany's closing in on 500 yards of total offense, but they've got 141 yards in penalties.
Mm-hmm. Tomcats need 11 here on third down as they come out to the line of scrimmage. Pat Schaefer, who did a fine job in relief of quarterback Ryan Radke the last game, throws to Tajuden, and he makes a nice catch at the 20 and is spun out of bounds, but it's not going to be nearly enough for a first down. It's going to be 4th down and 6, and the Cats have no alternative but to kick the football away, Don.
Nope, too far back in their own territory for anything now. When you've managed to get about 4 yards on 3 plays, the chance of getting 6 is not very good.
All right, Dylan Squires is in to do the punting. And let's see, do we have Blinn back there? I think we have a change there for Bethany. It looks like ambush, and the kick is blocked. The snap was low, and it goes into the end zone, and a Tomcat fell on it. But it's a safety. Was that, who was that fell on that, Don? I can't see. He's going off. Something 17?
Yeah, I think it's Saratori.
Is that Joe Saratori who fell on it?
Nick.
Well, Nick Saratori. He saved 5 points, or 4 points at least, but he gives up the safety. He had no alternative. Very, very low snap by the Thiel punter, and Squires is being attended to by the trainers and going off a little bit wobbly on the other side. He really got cracked.
He got crushed. He tried in vain to pick up the ball and do something with it, but this Bethany team is just so quick to the ball, and they crushed him before. Remember, his last kick was partially blocked down here on the other side. So Bethany's winning the game on all three fronts tonight.
Well, they certainly are, and they're getting a new quarterback loosened up out here. Looks like when the Bison get the ball back after this free kick, we're going to have Evan Iller, a freshman from St. Mary's, PA, who may be coming in at quarterback.
Well, if he's not, he's getting a pretty good workout at taking snaps.
Now the question is, who's going to do the punting here? I think I know, or do I? Who's the backup punter?
Looks like it's your good hands wide receiver.
Cody Dinger?
Yeah.
Well, he's listed as the backup punter.
Well, he's got
and
the ball.
I think it's 16, Cody Dinger. Yeah, he's backup place kicker, backup punter, and he gets a pretty fair kick away.
That's a nice kick.
Booming it down to the 31-yard line where Ambush takes it, and he's at a head of speed, 40, 50, 40, 30. Is he going to go all the way? My goodness, I think he is. Right down the sidelines and in to the pylon for a touchdown. Can you believe that? Oh, my goodness. He took that ball, at the 32?
Yeah. We got a block in the back.
Was there a block in the back? Well, at least they're going to bring that back. Oh, my goodness, that would have been...
Boy, he went right down the sideline.
He saw an opening, cut it toward the middle, then cut it back to the side, and went all the way right next to the sideline into the end zone, but it's coming back.
You know, that's one of those plays that you don't do a whole lot. You know, you don't punt, you know, after a safety like that. So you wonder if people maybe get a little confused about where their lanes are. On a kickoff, you know, the rules are so, and you practice it. I don't know how often you really practice a punt from a safety after a safety, because it's so rare. I mean, maybe once every year, 2 years.
No, you don't.
So I can see why they maybe got confused, because he came right down the sidelines, and fortunately there was an escort of green jerseys with him too, but fortunately for the Tomcats, one of them grabbed onto a white jersey, and that moves the ball back to midfield and takes the points off the board.
Okay, so the ball is placed right on the 50-yard line. And here comes probably a new
Looks like a
bunch of players, fresh
bunch of
jerseys.
people.
Man, these jerseys have never been soiled. And it looks like our quarterback is, get that number, Don?
14.
14 is in there at quarterback. Okay, it is.
He's already got to delay a game in his first call.
Now the question is it Kinnaman or Iller? There are two 14s, and they're both quarterbacks. So, is this kid 6'3" out there? This quarterback?
I don't see two 14s, Hugh.
Yeah, there are two 14s here. Evan Iller and Chase Kinnaman are the two freshmen. One's a freshman, one's a sophomore. Well, maybe we just ought to alternate here. All right, flags fly, and tempers are getting rather short. We saw a Thiel player swinging around out there, and a Bethany player doing the same. So is this going to be offsetting penalties, or
I don't think they were square dancing.
You know, I'm going to say that quarterback is Evan Iller, because that kid out there looks 6'3" to me.
Okay. Looks like it's going to
I declare it's going to be Evan Iller as the quarterback.
Looks like it's against the Tomcats
Against the Tomcats, so they'll march that inside the Thiel 40 down to the 37-yard line. So Evan Iller will line up in the gun for Bethany. And he takes the snap, and he's going to give it off to his tailback. And the tailback with that football is Tyler Makita. That might be Raekwon Wells.
Shane Russell made the tackle. We do know that.
Yeah, Raekwon Wells. This drives you crazy with duplicate numbers all over the place. But it's Iller handing it to Wells. And Wells gets a couple of yards. No, he doesn't get a gain at all, does he? He stopped for no gain. Second and 10.
Russell did a nice job riding
Second
him
and
down.
10 at the 38-yard line. All right, Iller is in the gun, and he loses the ball. He's in a peck of trouble. The Cats are going after him, and they're going to run him out of bounds back at the 44-yard line. So Iller is going the wrong way with his offense.
Nice job by Dusty Maines, a freshman name who's in there now.
Okay.
Tomcats getting some young kids in there, getting them a little playing time in this mop-up role, and did a nice job staying with him so he couldn't turn the corner.
And Joseph Fiasco is now in at tailback for Bethany. They're sending Linyard back out on the field now. Get a couple of... What was that?
Kinnaman is
the quarterback, okay. Kinnaman is the quarterback. Low snap again, and he's going to throw the pass out here, and that pass is caught by a running back, Cavante Goins, out of North Huntington, PA, and Norwin High School. And he is thrown out of bounds at about the 47-yard line of Thiel. And the Cats are going to get the football back now at the 4:29 mark.
Good job by Shane Russell that time, too. Came in, didn't make the tackle, but he blew up the play and held it up till the cavalry got there and wiped it out.
Aaron Fry is going to be in to, again, do the punting here for Bethany. And we see that the Tomcats are deploying. Cody Dinger back there to return. He has another compatriot with him. The kick is high, and it's going to go over to that side. Daly is going to let it bounce down inside the 10, the 5, and down to the 4. So the Tomcats at the 3:54 mark are going to get the football back, but deep in their own territory at about the 4-yard line.
Looks like Pat Schaefer coming out again at quarterback.
Pat Schaefer will be at quarterback. The Cats have some awfully good-looking young quarterbacks on their roster. And, of course, so far, Coach Reiser is choosing to go with the senior Pat Schaefer, who's been around now.
He's been around.
His fourth year. And, he's earned the right to play, and he showed last week that he can be up for the challenge. All right, so Schaefer's going to go under center, and he has a new tailback in the game, and we're going to try to get this young man's number here. And he hands off and runs with a head of steam up to about the 8-yard line for 4 yards.
Graham Nelson is the running back.
Graham Nelson, okay. Graham Nelson is in the football game. And he's a local kid. Nelson from Bemis Point, New York. Maple Grove High School. 2nd down 6 after the 4-yard gain by Graham Nelson. Cody Dinger is now in at wide receiver. And he's going to be joined out here on this side by another fresh jersey. Looks like David Pugh. And now play is stopped, and we have a timeout. So we'll take a timeout on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvica, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach back. We want to thank Aaron Byro, who is our producer, back in the studio at 790 WPIC in Hermitage. As always, Aaron doing a great job producing our night broadcasts. I don't think Aaron will be with us next Saturday when we join you from Thomas More. We're going to have a brand new engineer or producer with us at that time. All right, Schaefer is under center. Nelson dots the I, and Schaefer's going to roll to the left and get trapped in his own backfield back at about the 3-yard line.
Looking downfield, there wasn't a whole lot down there. Bethany had all the white jerseys covered, and Pat didn't have anywhere to go with the ball and just ended up taking a sack down about the, 3-yard line, looks like. Hugh, give you an update on the Westminster W&J score. What do you think's going on?
I don't know. You tell me.
W&J 28, Westminster 24 with about 8 minutes to go. It's W&J, folks.
W&J has come back at home and leads the Titans by 4, but still quite an effort by Westminster.
A lot of time left, though. You never know.
3rd down and 12 for Thiel in the shadow of its own end zone. Pass goes out here to Zinsmeister, makes the catch, and makes a nice gain up across the 15 to the 16. And how about Justin Zinsmeister, the sophomore fullback out of Baldwin High School in Pittsburgh, gets the first down.
Did a nice job that time in typical Thiel Tomcat fullback style, man. Caught the ball, got those legs churning. Nobody could tackle him, and picked up the first down, moved the chains.
Well, he's in that tradition.
He is.
And by the way, Kurt Reiser recruited a freshman fullback from Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh we're going to hear a lot about, Alex Porco. And he's a 230-pounder. Here is Graham Nelson with the football, fighting his way up near the 18 or 19-yard line. And
nice surge that time.
Nice surge for about 3 yards.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He held on to the ball and got in there.
Now, the reason I mentioned Porco is who was the real good fullback, we'll never forget it, Thiel, who went to Central Catholic High School and played on a very good football team. No, you're not involved in this class, Topolewski. He's raising his hand.
I forget.
You forget.
You said I'll never forget, and
You'll
I have.
never forget, and you forgot. Help us out here, Mr. Topolewski. How about Justin Cuban? You remember
I remember him.
Heck of a blocker. All right, here's the give to, Graham Nelson knows how to run. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with that kid.
Running
and he's
hard.
a big back across the 25 up to the 26-yard line. Graham Nelson, they list him at 5'11", 175. Looks a little bit taller than the other two backs.
He runs the ball real well, covers up the ball real well with both arms, gets the legs churning. When he gets hit, he spins around a little bit. Another first time for the Cats.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Throw the bomb. Come on, let's go.
All right, Cody Dinger is going to go wide to the left. We have 38 seconds remaining in this game. And here's Pat Schaefer handing off, and that again is Graham Nelson, who's collared by three different defenders for Bethany as the clock runs to 24 seconds. And I don't know whether anybody's going to be in a big hurry to get this snap off or not. I don't think so. This could well have been the last play of the game from the 24-yard line, Thiel zone 24. It's been a bit of a wet night out there. Still a little bit on the moist side, but no precipitation. But a big explosive night for the Bison of Bethany College as they struck with big plays early and often and kind of coasted a bit here in the second half. But when it's all said and done, the Bethany Bison have won this ball game by a score of 51-16.
You want to know why I love Tomcat football, Hugh? You see the first guy to shake the hand of the Bethany Bisons today? Ryan Radke.
Ryan Radke.
Chin held high.
Yep.
Helmet in hand.
Yep.
Good game. Patch on the back, and he'll be back to fight another day.
He sure will. Proud young man.
Gotta love the Tomcats.
So, final score here is Bethany 51, Thiel 16. After we take this commercial break, we'll be here to wrap it up. Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. AVI Fresh, the exclusive food service provider for Thiel College, and ComDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Thiel College is proud to partner with the Blue Gold Club, AVI Fresh, and ComDoc and the DocuCenter. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
Okay, thank you, John Herrickle. Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbach back here at Bison Stadium on the campus of Bethany College in Bethany, West Virginia. It's been kind of a tough night here for the Tomcats, facing a very talented, very athletic Bethany team. After it was tight for a while, Bethany opened up in the second quarter, led by their all-everything wideout, Blinn. And Eric Blinn was clearly the star among many stars for Bethany in this game. Gave the Bison a big halftime lead, and they coasted to the 51-16 victory here at Bison Stadium. Don, you have the final stats in hand. Give us the lowdown.
14-3 at the end of the first quarter, like Hugh said, and then all of a sudden the Eric Blinn show began. 3 unanswered touchdowns, and then another touchdown in the fourth quarter. So Eric Blinn ends up with four touchdowns, ends up with 12 catches for 185 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. So it definitely was the Eric Blinn show tonight. Looking at the Tomcats, Ryan Radke ended up with 49 yards rushing after you had all the sacks taken away. Evan Ingram followed up his 100-yard game from last week with 37. Graham Nelson, who we just saw in the last series, ended up with 12. Radke was 19 of 37 for 191, 2 touchdowns to Paul Jones, who continues to develop as a wideout. Looking at the big picture, Bethany 51 plays for 486 yards. The Tomcats ran 83 plays for 314. Dominated time of possession, 39 minutes to 20 minutes, but unfortunately just came up on a short end of the score. Last week we had 3 people right around 100 yards rushing. This week the whole team only had 104. Everything else is Doak Walker had a good night on defense with 7 tackles. Riley Shane had 6. So tough night for the Tomcats, but we live to fight another day.
Well, that's right, and big step up in competition here tonight, no doubt about it, and that's reflected on the scoreboard. Well, we'll go at it again next week as we hit the road to Thomas More.
It doesn't get much easier next week. We're going down
it doesn't.
To face a team that put 84 points up on the board tonight.
Yep, they won big today. St. Vincent upset the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets this afternoon. And last word on the W&J game is that W&J had taken the lead on Westminster after Westminster led for much of the game. So Thiel is now 1-1. Bethany is 1-1, and we're ready to start conference play next week. And we'll be thinking, of course, about Chris Jones, who went out
Howard,
maybe with concussion symptoms, and Ronnie Howard, who hurt his knee or leg relative to the hip relatively early in the football game. And our thoughts and prayers
he was off
will be with the outstanding young man, offensive captain from Sharon High School. Just a very bad, unfortunate situation that happened with Ronnie Howard.
He was off to a real good start tonight, Hugh, too.
Yes,
made a couple of key third down plays. Looks like a final. 4:47 to go, 28-24 W&J.
Okay, that's the update from Ed Tompoleski. We want to thank the aforementioned Mr. Tompoleski, the Sports Information Director, and his able assistant, Cyril Parham, the Assistant Sports Information Director at Thiel, for all the great things they do for us. As always, we thank Coach Kurt Reiser, who will join us on the Coaches Show Monday night at 6:05 on the Pick Sports Line with yours truly. Thanks to Jack Leipheimer, the Director of Athletics, who is retiring at the end of this year.
Can I give a shout-out to Amy Schaefer, who was here tonight, stopped by at halftime, had a nice little chat with her during the break. She's excited about her new duties, and I think she
athletic director.
What a slam dunk of a hire, and good job and good luck to Amy.
Absolutely.
Bethany grad.
Yes, and we want to thank Jared Plate, the outstanding Sports Information Director here at Bethany College, who was trained so well by the folks at Thiel when he was at Thiel for a while. I'll tell you, Thiel's trained a plethora of outstanding sports information directors like Mr. Fenstermacher,
also a Bethany grad.
Kevin, a Bethany grad, who did a great job at Thiel when I broke in as the broadcaster of the Tomcats. So we want to thank Jared for hosting us, and his sandwiches were my favorite.
Yeah,
boy, those chicken sandwiches are to die for.
He brought them just for you, Hugh.
Well, I know he did, and I appreciate it, Jared. The News Talk 790 WPIC sports staff, again, Aaron Byro, our producer of the 747 at 2030 Fine Hollow Boulevard in Hermitage. Great job again tonight, Aaron. Sales manager, sports director Bob Greenberg for helping us with everything. We thank all of you for making the broadcast possible. Again, the final score from Bethany, the Bethany Bison 51, the Thiel Tomcats 16. You heard it live on your source for the Tomcats. Join us next week at 12:30 p.m. for the Thiel Thomas More game from Kentucky on 790 WPIC.